quorum. Hannah, run around and look. Okay, so apologize for technical difficulties, guys. Mr. Adams is not here to present again his presentation, so Take 2 Community Board 13's board meeting, April 26th. We apologize for, we don't know what happened, we were hacked. There was a presentation from CHI Health Center regarding HIV and STI. Prevention and treatment programs. If he comes back on, if there's any questions for him, please feel free to raise your hand, but we're going to proceed because it looks from my eyes that most of the people have returned back. Public session. And what I would do as a courtesy, if they're not here and they do come, I would allow them to speak. So Councilman Ari Kagan, do you have to leave and do you want to speak first? Councilman?
You have to hit *6, Councilman.
He's unmuted. Go ahead, Councilman.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. Sorry for this technical difficulty. I'm glad that everybody returned back. So, first of all, good evening. I would like to be brief. So, first of all, it was absolutely great public forum hosted by Community Board 13 about project casino in Coney Island. Was well attended. I expressed my opinion. I completely agree with overwhelming opposition to the casino in Coney Island that I hear from not just in Coney Island, but all over Southern Brooklyn. It doesn't mean everybody is against casino, but overwhelmingly, I hear opinions of people in Coney Island and surrounding neighborhoods, and overwhelming majority of people whom I talk to are against casino. The process just started. It's not even in the middle, but I know that the community board is planning to vote on this issue, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's very good. Because like I already received a resolution from community board 15th on this issue. So if I would have 3 resolutions from 3 community boards in my district, and they will be very similar, then it will be even, I will have even bigger people's mandate to express my position. And my position is like basically based on concerns regarding congestion, traffic, possibility of increased crime, and mental health problems, and many other issues. So it's not casino in general, but specifically casino in this particular location in the heart of residential area could be definitely counterproductive. So also last Saturday, my office hosted Spring Festival at Kaiser Park. About 400 families participated. It was a very good event, and thank you to all co-sponsors of this event. Department of Parks helped, and many local community organizations participated. And I saw Eddie Mark there and many other members of community board. So thank you to everyone who participated. Also, today in the morning was very important interagency meeting hosted by Alliance for Coney Island, where we discussed upcoming summer season. Will be a lot of issues. I recently met a representative of New York City Police Commissioner, and I have specifically requested much more summer enforcement for police for summer season, especially on the boardwalk and on Mermaid Avenue. So Deputy Inspector Andrei Smirnov today in the morning said that they're telling him maybe 40, maybe 50 more police officers. I requested 80 because it's never enough, as you know, on summer season. I will continue to push for more police officers for summer season because it's way too many people visiting our area, and we need to make sure that we have a public safety. Our offices are working as usual, so I will repeat the phone number of our office is 718-373-9673, 718-373-9673. We are receiving
ESPN.
Complaints, requests, comments, etc. every single day, and we are open for business every day, so you can contact by email as well. I can give my email, akagan@council.nyc.gov. So that's all for now. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Councilman, I have a comment and a question. You indicated there are 2 additional community boards that have concerns with the proposed casino. We know of CB 15. Would you please repeat which other community board?
So Community Board 15 already voted unanimously against casino project, and I'm also talking to Community Board 11. They didn't vote yet. Representatives of Community Board 11 attended at least one forum that was hosted by Board President, and they
We
could
will reach
discuss
out
it
to
on-
them and asking them to give us we received 15. We'll reach out to 11 and ask them when they intend, etc. And then
Very good.
I recall you sent an email with concerns about another item we're voting on this evening, the co-naming.
Okay, yes. So co-naming is not just like my idea or my rules or my criteria. I know the community board is planning to vote on this topic, but we received from City Council, from Speaker's Office, specific instructions and standards for street co-namings. And these are universal, and they're like uniformed, and they're citywide rules. Same standards for every council member, for all districts citywide. And some of the proposed ideas, some of the proposed items by Community Board 13 are in direct contradiction to this rule. First of all, City Council is not imposing any kind of time period after the person passed away. The most important condition, person should be deceased. So meaning it could be 1 year, could be 2 years, could be 3 years. But I'm personally suggesting, at least recommending, it's of course entirely up to you, but like 2 or 3 or 5 years is way too long a period since person passed away. It could be completely new community board, completely different, even council members after such a long period of time. So I would say 1 year is a reasonable period of time after the person passed away to consider this person for street co-naming. 1 year. That's my suggestion, but it's not, again, but City Council is in general saying person should be deceased. They're not saying any kind of period of time at all. And second recommendation is the person that recommended for co-naming should have a significant impact on many aspects of cultural, business, and other aspects of life in New York City. And also, a person could be a hero who saved someone's life, which happens all the time. You know, a lot of firefighters, police officers, etc. All over the city, I see street co-namings, including in our area. So I know the community board wants to say it's minimum 5 years of community service. But again, it's not always 5 years of public service or community service. It could be less. It could be person could save someone's life and be involved in the community or provide community service or public service less than 5 years. That's number one. And number two, if it's a significant, again, significant impact on community, on borough, on city, and person made a significant impact on aspects like social, cultural, business, and so on, aspects of life in our city, then it's not necessarily 5 years of community service. That's
Okay, I
another-
believe we have all of that. If Marian wants to chime in, with the exception of the 1 year, we have 3. And that will be voted on this evening, but I believe everything else is in there that you have indicated, Marianne.
Yeah, everything definitely is in there. All right, my concern was also that originally we had said something like 5 years. And we agreed that 5 years was much too long. But in a
Jimmy
year,
Prince-
Councilman, in a year, it is possible that things could come up. I
Jimmy
referred to
Prince-
in Bernie Carrick that when they named that building in the jail in Manhattan after him, and then things surfaced. So,
I will give example of Jimmy Prince is a prime example. You know, this summer we are going to co-name street after him. By the way, we have a date. It's going to be on July 8th, from what I understand. Street co-naming for Jimmy Prince, and it's not 3 years. He didn't pass 3
no,
years.
he
If it
didn't
would be
make
three,
no.
yeah, if it would be 3 years period, it would not be possible. That's my point. So that's why 3 years is too much.
Well, we'll present, Lucy, how about we present this whole thing to the board, and if,
Well, we'll present it when we're ready to vote. We'll bring it up.
right, that's all.
Anyone has any questions for the councilman?
You made
Please
a good
raise your
point.
hand. We accept waves because of technical issues. Christopher,
Yes, Councilman, I want to thank you on something you did the other day. As you know, that there's been a lot of drag racing between Community Board 13 and 15. I do want to thank you getting some of these vehicles getting caught, because they've been passing the 6-1 and 6-0 have been double teaming, catching them along Ocean Parkway just today. So I want to thank you for that. So we're glad to see their
Thank you.
safety is getting done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna go down the list then. Sorry, so many things, technology that doesn't work. Is anyone here from the Assemblyman Alec Brodakowski's office?
And they were both here. I just sent them the new link.
I did send it. I saw her a
I
few
did.
seconds.
I
Bridget,
did.
I saw her a few seconds
All
ago.
right, I'm here. How are
Bridget,
you?
there she goes.
Hello, everyone. Hi, greetings. My name is Bridget Purvis, and I'm the community liaison for Assemblymember Alec Bograsny's office. I'd just like to thank everybody for sending me the link and being patient while I get back on. I just wanted to mention a couple of items that Alec is celebrating 100 days in the assembly. Sorry. I'm just going to name a couple of the issues that they worked on, preventing dangerous labeling of THC products, supporting cultural and religious diversity in our communities, ensuring Holocaust teachings are not lost in schools, strengthening our local colleges and universities in Brooklyn, which is very important. All these items are very important. Support for Ukraine and its refugees, authorized the proposal to reduce utility bills for seniors and those with disabilities. Reining in Albany's out of control spending, advocating for older adults transportation services, supporting veterans and services they rely on, and fighting to remove a portion of our local highway, fighting to rename a portion of our local highway, Brooklyn Veterans Memorial Highway. So I want to thank everybody for giving me this time. I want to let you know our office is open Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday and Thursday, we're there from 10 to 4. Friday, we're there from 10 to 2. And we look forward to hearing from anyone that might have concerns, constituents, organizations, committees, whoever. Thank you very much.
Any questions for the Assemblyman office? Moving on. Thank you, Bridget. Moving on. Senator Spantone's office, if I pronounced it correctly. Which I probably
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Regards from Senator Spanton. She is in Albany.
Spanton, sorry. I'll get it one day.
The first 100 days in office has been very busy and getting a lot of things accomplished. And we've had a lot of successful events. We've had a lot of bills passed, veterans affairs, public safety. So we've got a lot accomplished in the first 100 days. We've had about 90 mobile offices held, and we continue to help constituents through mobile offices. So if you have a problem or need information or would like to express an opinion, you can contact the office at 718-727-9406 or email the senator at spanton@nysenate.gov. The senator is also on social media, so you will see her posting daily, and she likes to keep everyone informed, and you will see what's going on in Albany, Brooklyn, and in Staten Island. Okay, thank you.
Any questions or any comments to be
Yelena.
referred back? Yelena.
Elena.
Yeah, hi. I would like, on behalf of residents of Brighton Beach area, to say thank you for having representative in Shorefront Y every week. It's very
yeah.
helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes, you're welcome. I've been there too.
I know.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Let me go back to my list through the phone. Senator Chu's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zunera, District Director for Senator Chu. She is in Albany with the Assembly members and senators working on the state budget, so making sure that it gets passed. It's very delayed, but there's some good things coming up in that state budget that we hope to announce soon. Things that Senator Chu worked on in committees, like fully funding our education system, making sure our transit system is also funded. So those are things that we'll continue to do. If anyone needs me, you can always reach out, and I'm happy to connect you to the office.
Any comments for the senator's office? This is good. Moving on the controller's office, Sergi.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you for
Greetings.
my money this morning.
Oh, okay.
DC 37, thank you.
Okay. It's not us, it's DC, but still. Thanks, Lucy. So greetings from New York City Comptroller Brad Lander. And maybe you've heard that one of the main points what Comptroller is concerned about is the climate change. And if you didn't hear, over months ago, we created what we called the climate dashboard. So 4 days ago, Brad Lander announced updates of the dashboard, and that dashboard tracks all our city's efforts to reduce emissions. They show transition to green economy, and this map has a lot of layers, and one of them shows emissions, and that's emissions not only from vehicles, buses, or not, but also from each individual large buildings in New York City. So we can see how buildings are doing in terms of polluting our air in New York City. One of new features includes how New York City pension funds invest to help to reduce emissions in our city, meaning they try to pull out from some of the traditional oil-based companies and invest more in green infrastructure companies. And you know, pension funds are very, very large entities financially in New York City and New York State. So you can find this climate dashboard on our website. I'll send you a link a little while. And if you would like, we can bring a training about this dashboard to the board members or any organization that is interested. You can contact me for additional information. Thank you.
Any questions for the controller's office? Moving on. Anyone here from the borough president's office? My favorite people. Anyone? Okay. The mayor's office. Hi, Ray, go ahead. Well, I guess I think you're muted.
Or maybe Anastasia, one of the two.
Yes, I'm unmuted now.
There you go, sir.
Okay, want to take this opportunity to talk about that NST neighborhood support team. I encourage everyone to go to the CAU website and look for support team. It gives you a full explanation of the program. And what we want to do is to encourage people from Community Board 13 to look at the neighbor support team project and submit requests to participate. Basically, it's an RFP, except what you're asking for is for CAU to work with a multi-agency task force to address numerous concerns that you have in the area, like the illegal vending and any trash issues, homeless. Read through it. I encourage you to participate. I'm working with Yelena with the Brighton Beach in order to have them also submit a project for an NFT. And what will happen is that we will be dedicating these resources using task force type of broken window tactics in order to address everything within a community board for a year. It is competitive, so I'm encouraging people to participate, to submit the applications for this program. And the due date is May 31st. And we'll announce what community boards will be getting this focus of resources on June 15th. So, you know, the more I have in order to show that Board 13 needs these resources, you know, the better chances of us being able to do that. Now, I do have 20 years experience working in quality of life, and I'll be coordinating most of the initiatives. So we have an opportunity here, and I'm hoping that Board 13 takes advantage.
Any questions for the mayor's office? Yelena?
I don't have any questions. I just want to publicly thank you, Ray, Anastasia from CAU for working with us. Hopefully, all together, we will make Brighton brighter. Thank you.
And then I stand corrected by Suji. So let's tell the mayor, thank you for my raise this morning. So I appreciate that. Okay, so Ray, would you mind placing your information in the chat for the board members to contact you based on what you just indicated? If that's okay?
Absolutely.
Eddie was circulated around since the chat is closed. So now moving on, I believe Jeff Sanoff has the statement because Enoch, the councilwoman's or her office could not attend, but she wanted something for the record. Jeff Sanoff?
Yes, okay, this is, hi Lucy, Eddie, and community.
Let me interrupt you for a second. If anyone wants those exact words, contact the office and we will forward their email exchange.
Okay. Hi Lucy, Eddie, and Community Board 13. Councilwoman Vernikoff understands that there is a resolution on the casino tonight at the Community Board 13 meeting. Due to the schedule, I regret that we won't be able to have someone available, but we wanted to send along this note of the councilwoman's position on the casino. There are traffic, safety, and logistical concerns that could very well escalate challenges already facing the community in these areas. While my office is tracking this issue closely and taking in community and resident input, our state representatives are tasked with handling this, and we're also speaking and working together with them. We will continue monitoring the situation and welcome all of your input. Sincerely, Ina Vernikov.
Thank you very much. Moving on, are there any other elected officials' office that I did not see? Is the mayor, not the mayor's office, the borough president's office with us?
No, no, we have Andrew that raised his hand.
Yes, Andrew, yes. You're from where?
Hi, good evening. I am the new community liaison for Assembly Member Bill Colton's office.
Welcome,
So
sir.
thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Apologies. That's what a shame about the last meeting. But I suppose that sort of thing happens. So I just wanted to let you all know that I am going to be working very closely with Community Board 13 and Community Board 11. And I look forward to working with you, Madam Chair, and with the other members of the board and members of the community in District 47 and the surrounding area. I know some members of some people that are in this meeting right now. For example, Mr. Joe Carrace and I have worked very extensively when I was in the Kiwanis Club at Xaverian High School. So I do have very deep connections to this community, and I look forward to hearing any of your concerns, passing them on to the Assemblyman who is currently in Albany right now, working on the budget, making sure that this community, along with many other communities in New York City and New York State, have the money and funds for the various resources and projects that are vital. Thank you.
Any questions? Any comments to be returned back? Okay, we have a few more speakers. The next speaker from the public will be Chris.
And good evening, everyone. Christopher D. Grive. As to remind everyone, the bus redesign pop-up sessions are still going on. And to remind you, you did have one in Coney Island the same day as the casino meeting, but we still had a great attendance at Coney Island. We had a good turnout, so thank you, Community Board 13. There is one more pop session going on in Sheepshead Bay, not at the train station, but near Assemblywoman Weinstein's office, where the reduced fare vehicle will be May 2nd from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And that they will be representative there to hear your comments, any concerns you have. And to remind you, if you cannot attend those, you still have time to put your comments in onto the MTA's website, which is a new mta.info/Brooklyn redesign. And to discuss other things, also to remind everyone, we are aware that there was some concern of MTA changes coming up. I already put that into the email to Eddie. Eddie will make sure everyone has that. As a reminder to everyone, regarding the fare hike, there is nothing discussed about the fare hike at this time. And I will remind you, as you see your elected officials here, which they are working, making sure the fare does not go up, please remind them again, not just the fare, but accessibility as well. The more we get in, the more things will get done on that. And just to remind everyone, if you see something, say something, please always let the MTA crews know if you see something disturbing anywhere on the platform or the train or on the bus as well. Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely weekend.
Awesome. Okay, the next speaker that I have is Marianne Kennedy. Are you with us? Mr. Kennedy?
I don't see him.
Let's move on, and then I'll call his name again. Craig Hammerman.
Thank you, Lucy. First of all, I want to commend you on the development of street co-naming guidelines that will be voted on later tonight to create a process that's predictable, transparent, and fair, the characteristics of a real democratic process. Predictable to prepare future applicants for what the community board's expectations are, giving them concrete steps to follow. Transparent, so there's a standard application that you can rely on to do your due diligence, and fair, to treat all applicants equally and avoid being arbitrary. So kudos to you all for coming up with a democratic process. I only wish the same democratic principles were applied to another matter on your agenda this evening, namely the resolution on the proposed casino. The resolution you will be considering tonight was not the product of a democratic process. It did not follow a predictable review process like a ULURP application would, for example. The process was not transparent. There was no application for the public to review. Any recommendations by the community board will rely mostly on opinion, speculation, and media reports, not facts, reports, and studies supplied by the developer. We have not had an opportunity to conduct our due diligence yet. Let me be clear. I'm not arguing for or against the casino. My comments have nothing to do with the substance of the proposal. I have concerns, like many of you, about the impact of such a facility, so I'm very interested in seeing what will be proposed and commenting on the facts of the proposal. You've heard me say many times before that we don't get anywhere near what we deserve in this district. This community has a long and growing list of unmet needs. With or without a casino, those needs are not going to take care of themselves. It's the community board's job to make sure that everyone is clear on what the district's needs are. That's a unique and essential city charter mandate for the community board. CB 13 is an advisory body, not a decision-making body. This matter will be the subject of public hearings by the New York State Gaming Commission. It will be subject to a ULURP review as guaranteed by the state's process. There's no need for the community board to rush through a resolution before there's even an application for us to review. Please don't jump the gun. Please consider deferring action on this important matter until you have an actual application in hand to base your recommendation on. A recommendation based on fact will be rational and considerably stronger than one based on opinion, speculation, and media reports. Anything done now at tonight's meeting would be premature, weaker, irrational, and undemocratic. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig, and thank you always. We did receive your email. Jeff is going to say a few words back to that. But I just want to say that regardless what we vote on tonight, nothing's ever ending. There's always something continuing, and another resolution can be drafted later on. But at the moment, it was drafted based on 2 public hearings, and that was attended by the residents and the community constituents, and those comments were placed on that resolution. Nothing more, nothing less. Jeff?
Yes, thank you, Lucy. I just want to say that as environmental chair of the sanitation committee too, that we have had many meetings where we've had resolutions passed through the community board on issues from Superfund sites in Coney Creek to other issues over the last 8 years that I've been chair, without having a final plan from EDC or from the DEC or even the Army Corps, because it's an ongoing issue. So there is nothing wrong with the community board voting on a resolution of the casino. It doesn't have to be a final drafting of Thor's plan. In fact, sometimes you could read some of their literature and you get a pretty good idea of what they want in their casino. So that's the way it goes. Thank you.
I thank you very much. We'll move on. I think my last speaker is Ida Sanoff. I do not believe I have any other individuals signed up. And if I missed you, please raise your hand. And as I said, we accept waves. Ida?
I'm not going to talk about procedures or processes. I'm going to talk to you about facts. I'm going to talk to you about what we live with every day, what we're living with for the last number of years, in the half a century that I've lived on this peninsula. Fact, this is a narrow peninsula. Geography, we cannot change the geography of this peninsula. Fact, we have an existing horrific traffic problem. West 8th Street has to be closed in the summer because emergency vehicles were not able to get on to surf into Neptune Avenue to respond to emergencies throughout the peninsula, and that includes Brighton. Fact, West Fifth Street is currently a disaster because of all the triple park trucks. And if we get more traffic on Surf and Stillwell and West 8th is closed, it's coming to you folks on West Fifth Street. Fact, money can't fix everything. We know EDC did the studies, and they show that the ferry is not just a problem about money. The ferry is a permitting issue. You cannot change the hydrology of this peninsula. You cannot do anything that further screws up the sand transport, which we've been suffering with since 1994, okay? And you can't do anything to put in a ferry that's going to make that sand transport issue worse. People on Bayview, you know what I'm talking about. Fact. Coney Island Creek, you're not getting a bridge. These are Superfund, Coney Island Creek's being evaluated for Superfund. That's going to be a scientific process that has to be done over various seasons and over various years. And all the money you can throw at it ain't going to make the seasons go any faster. And even the Army Corps of Engineers will not even think of doing the badly needed flood control projects we need here until that Superfund process is completed. Fact, there are only 3 east-west routes on our narrow peninsula: Mermaid, Surf, and Neptune. If you even think of putting another entrance on the west end, you're going to have traffic coming through your peninsula from both ends. And if the people know there's an extra exit on the belt, build it and they will come. Fact, people in Seagate have died on holiday weekends because they had the misfortune to have a heart attack, and it took ambulances to get through. And if anybody wants to know the names of the people, we can get you that. Fact, there are people that live here. We do not have the means to move anywhere else. We don't own multiple homes. We're here because this is what we can afford. And the issues that are happening in Coney Island impact us in Brighton every day. So I urge you, my fellow board members, you used to be my fellow board members, my fellow residents, to think of the people who live here and to think of our lives and to think of our safety and not to listen to conjecture and theory and promises. Just look out your door and see what's happening here.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all
Thank
the
you.
money in the world
Ms.
won't get you an ambulance.
Ms. Sanoff, you've exceeded your time. I thank you for your input. We're going to move on. I believe she was the last speaker. Again, if I missed any of the elected officials, please let me know and we'll move on. Okay, so public session is closed. We're going to move on to adoption of the March 22, 2023 minutes. Any amendments? Wait, I think I get a motion first. May I get a motion to approve? Joanne Weiss and anyone else on the screen? Marianne Cleaver. Any comments or amendments to the minutes that were presented and have been submitted to you by email? Any changes? Okay, before we do that roll call, even though I know there's a motion on the table, I just want to explain to the new members, and I will introduce them in a minute. You have 4 options. 1 is to approve the minutes. 2 is to oppose them, which is obvious. 3 is to abstain, which basically means you have no opinion. And 4 is to recuse yourself because there is something that you have benefit on the minutes or the document itself. That's the simple explanation I can give you. A parliamentarian, which everyone tells me I say it wrong, Michael Silverman is here if you have any questions with that, but we will be calling you for this roll call. And I thank you for those that attended. And again, once my chairperson's report comes up, I will introduce you guys. So roll call. Moving on, who's doing the roll call? Hannah or Lucia? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lucy Mujica Diaz,
Yes.
Zunera Ahmed,
Yes.
Lakeisha Bowers,
Yes.
Dion Brown, Patricia Brown, Mario Caggiano,
Yes.
Sanji Cephas, Sanji? Okay, I'll come back.
I also forgot, I'm sorry to interrupt you because of the Borough President's Office just threw us with new members and we didn't have time to give them information. So I'm gonna do my best to give little pieces here today, but we will be having an orientation with them. So, your cameras must be on when you vote. And only when you vote and then they can be turned off. So you'll do the second roll call on that individual.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Marion Cleaver,
Yes.
Joe Carase,
Yes.
Assad Dandia,
Yes.
Julia Daniele, unmute yourself and vote, please. Okay, I'll come back.
Yeah, vote on what? I didn't hear the vote. I didn't hear what we're voting, or I'm just saying I'm here.
We're voting, this is a roll call with the adoption of the minutes. You were sent, yes. Okay,
I was sent, yeah, well, I abstained because I didn't see anything yet. Thank you,
okay, thank
but
you.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Lolita Divilova. Susan Flashenberg.
Yes.
Oh, Selena Grant. Arum Hanif. Linda Harrison. Yes. Is that Linda Harrison? Okay, I'll come back. Amaryllis Herrera. Queenie Hewling.
Yes.
Thank you, Queenie. Yuri Krasner.
Yes.
Thank you. Angela Kravchenko.
Yes.
Yelena Macklin.
Yes.
Mark Marinick. Mark Marinick.
Unmute, sorry, Mark Murnick, yes.
Yes, thank you. Alan Newman.
Yes.
Thank you. Pat O'Brien.
Yes.
Robin Wright Parasone.
Yes.
Nordra Pirmik-Hamedova.
Yes.
Sabina Pirmik-Hamedova. Emil Perisic. Milagros Quiles.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Milagros. Sam Rankowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Michael Russo.
Yes.
Jeff Sanoff.
Yes.
Fran Schwartz.
How about a vote? I'm not allowed to vote.
No, I thought you had a camera. Sorry.
Okay. No.
Okay. Tatiana Siegel.
Yes.
Thank you. Professor Dickey. Michael Silverman.
Yes.
Pat Singer.
Yes.
Sheila Smalls. Evelyn Strasser.
Yes.
Barbara Teitelbaum. Barbara Teitelbaum.
Barbara will be in and out, so sometimes you might not hear her.
I'll come back. Okay, thank you. Gregory Vengert.
Yes, yes.
Oh, hi, Barbara. Thank you. Gregory Vengert. Edita Volovodovskaya.
Yes.
Thank you. Dennis Verderis.
Yes.
Thank you. Gloria Watkins.
Yes.
Joanne Weiss.
Yes.
Annette Wesley.
Yes.
Thank you. Svetlana Zelenskaya.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just gonna go repeat. Sanji Sefas. I see Sanji's on.
Move on, no vote.
Okay. Got it. Julia sorry, Lolita Divilova. Lolita, you there? Okay. Thank you. No vote. Linda Harrison? No, okay. Amaryllis Herrera? Okay,
Yes.
oh, hi, Amaryllis. Okay, thank you.
She has no camera.
Can you put your camera on, please?
Hold up, sorry. Yes.
Hi, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hannah, I'm sorry,
Yes.
I had difficulty putting on.
That's
This is
okay, that's
Lolita. I
okay.
said
Hi,
yes.
Lolita. Yes, okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, and I'm missing. Okay, that's it. I'll tally it up and I'll come back to you. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Next on the agenda is chairperson's report. I'm not going to give a report. I'm just going to, well, kind of a report. I'm going to place on the record my disappointment, and I will be saying it to the borough president's office on my monthly meeting with the chairpersons, that we were notified after people were not reappointed, and we were notified after people were appointed. So it was very hard for us to reach out to the new individuals. We didn't receive emails. Some of them we received yesterday, some of them we received this morning. So if they are not here, we apologize. And if they don't know the protocol, I apologize. I wrote back an email stating that we would, our preference was that once they are sworn in and they go through orientation on how to vote and how to understand how community boards run, then it would be in the best interest for everyone in the community for them to vote on issues so they're familiarized how it goes. But the response was it was immediate. They were appointed immediately. And so here we are. But again, you know, everyone's welcome. I do not have the list of those who were not reappointed in front of me. I apologize. And those who chose not to reapply, but we thank you for your service. We will be having a June in-person meeting. Please join us. So you can at least properly say goodbye to your past friendship and mentors, etc. on this board. Now, with that being said, I see on my screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members that are new. And what I would like to tell the 6 members is, I think I already said it before, just a short version. If there are items you are allowed to vote, it's in favor, is in favor of the substance on that resolution. Oppose, you're opposed. Abstain is abstain, that you have no yes or no, because maybe you're not familiar with it or you just haven't had a chance to read the document. And recuse is you have personal interest on, and I'm going to use an example, a liquor license is a brand new liquor license, it's your brother. You might not earn his salary, but if you go there and get free drinks from him, then, and on a regular basis, then you have to recuse yourself because you are benefiting from him receiving this license. I'm just using that as an example. So most of our members understand that. And when we have the orientation that we have invited you to, and you'll respond to the office on May 10th at our office at 5:30 p.m. And the executive officers are welcome to attend. So they can maybe want to give a description of their committees and, you know, and let them know as to what the committee's functions are and see if they're interested in joining your committee. But again, never guarantee what you place on that form is what you receive. You will receive what is discussed within the office and what is the best interest of the community board needs. Thank you. So I see Mark online, one of our new members. Would you like to wave and say hello, sir?
Hello, my name is Mark Murnick on Brighton 11th Street. Longtime lurker, finally decided to join, mostly so I could ask questions at places I was not able to ask questions because it wasn't the public session. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Angela?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for welcoming us, all the new members. Thank you for welcoming me. And I'm a longtime resident of Coney Island, co-founder of Friends of Asalivi Park, and also involved in many local projects. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
And I neglected to say, when you vote on a matter, you must have your cameras on. If you turn them off during the other times, that's fine with us. You must, because sometimes people have a different name on the screen, and by seeing the face, we know who we're actually talking to. So I apologize, like I said, pieces by pieces, but we'll get there. Sabina? I saw her on the screen.
No, she's not here, Madam Chair.
She left? Okay.
No.
Julia? I think I saw her on the screen. You're muted, or we can't hear you. You're not muted. We can't hear you.
I don't know.
We hear you
Can
now.
you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
we
Yes.
can hear you.
Oh, my name is Julia Danley. I'm the resident council president for Cary Gardens. I'm also the first chair for the district council of presidents for Brooklyn South. I'm also on the Brad Landon's auditing committee. I'm also on the a lot of other things. But anyway, I've been in Coney Island since the age of 2. So that's 60 ripe years I've been here, and I've lived in Cary Gardens since 1970. And I joined the community board so that we could make the voting even playing field. So that way there's more diversity in how things are responded to. And hopefully we could move forward on a positive note on getting things done for the whole community board district portion.
Thank you. Thank you. Suji? I believe she was here, or she was here, sorry. No response. And Yuri. Yuri, thank you, Eddie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yuri Krasner. I live on Coney Island and Brighton Beach and Seagate for the last 27 years combined. And I was involved with 6 precinct for 10 years and currently with Seagate. Looking forward to working with you.
Okay, thank you. Did I miss any new members that are on the screen that, again, my apologies that you got last minute notification. Was an hour for, we didn't get the information most of the information till today. So that is my report. Thank you and welcome.
Okay, all right. I guess I'm next. Welcome all new board members. We look forward to working with you. And as Lucy mentioned, we will have that orientation on May the 10th for more in-person one-to-one talking. All right, so since the last meeting that we had, a couple of things happened. We had the blessing of the rides, opening up the amusement park. It was a great weekend, Easter break and all that. We had 90-degree weather, which was nice. It helped out everybody to come to Coney Island. That was a good thing. We also had Earth Day, where we had National Grid come by to Kaiser Park and had 100 volunteers come to clean up and spruce up Kaiser Park on the 21st of April. And some updates that we have for the bus shelter on West 33rd Street and Surf Avenue. Within the next week, they will be closing down the whole street. Once they do that, they will relocate the bus to West 36th Street. So the announcement that we put on to our Facebook and to our newsletter is that we are on top of them, making sure that when it does close, that they have the right notice on the shelter to have the people go to the right location to pick up the bus. The F train, this week and next weekend, there will not be any service on the F line from Kings Highway to Stillwell Avenue. They're going to actually close the street underneath Shell Road between Avenue Y all the way to Shore Parkway. Those are going to happen on 2 weekends in a row, starting on May 5th and May the 12th. We also were just alerted that the summertime, they're going to be doing a lot more construction for the weekends on the F train. This is unacceptable because we counted, there's only 21 weekends in the summer starting in May. And out of the 21 weekends, only 14 weekends, they will be closed due to construction. So that's 2/3 of the summer being closed. So we're going to be writing a letter, right, Lucy, to the MTA, saying that this is not acceptable, especially if people are coming to Coney Island. And if they're taking the F train, they'll be rerouted or taking shuttle bus, which will make it extra time to come down here. So also on May the 20th, there is going to be the Brooklyn Half, which means that there's no parking on the streets along Ocean Parkway all the way down to Surf Avenue between early mornings up to 1 p.m. So be aware that there's going to be road runner races coming down here. We understand there are certain sections where they will let people cross the street because it's very hard for them to make it when they're running full stream ahead. And let's see, also the update on the removal of the the pilings on Kaiser Park, Coney Island Creek. They are removing them on May the 15th. Meaning the city, the EDC, are going to be taking them down for the next 2 weeks starting on May 15th. So if you see any action in the creek, they're removing the pilings. All right. This morning, we went to an alliance meeting dealing with the interagencies, dealing with the summer activities that's going to be happening in amusement. The biggest concern was illegal vendors and how DCWP and sanitation are going to combat it this year. We know that in the past, for the last 2 or 3 years, it has gone crazy. And we know that it's been out of hand, but now its enforcement has been taken over by sanitation, and we hope that they will be able to enforce the vendors. We indicated that the vending happens during the weekends and after hours, so that they have to be more attentive to those times too. And other than that, that's about it. Michael, is there something that you want
I have a question before Michael. Eddie did, since I could not attend because I had a previous meeting, did sanitation indicate how they will be receiving complaints from the community?
No, not yet. What they said was with the police department is they're going to educate them again, which we weren't too crazy about.
Okay, because I believe Ray, when I bumped into Ray in the street the other day from the mayor's office, he might want to chime in on that. But before he does, I will let Michael and then Joanne, and then if Ray would like to chime in, because we bumped into each other in the street the other day. Michael?
Okay, Michael.
Yeah, Eddie, you spoke about just a moment ago about the F train shutdown.
Yeah.
For weekends in the summer, and you said that they were going to offer shuttle bus service. I was told that this time around there was not going to be any shuttle bus service from the Church Avenue station to
Coney Island. Yeah, I heard that too. I just wanted to verify it before I gave that information out. But I did hear that there is a chance that there will not be a shuttle bus going from that place, which makes it even harder because people are going to get stranded on Church Avenue and not have any means to get down to Coney Island.
Okay, I missed your beginning. When will this go in effect?
Well, the 2 weekends right now is just now, but shortly after that, in May and June, they will be starting the weekend. We'll post them up on our Facebook page and send them out to our members and to the public, the dates that they are proposing. So anything can change too, which is what we hope they will change their mind. But I don't know how, serious they need to do all this construction on the weekend. Because our weekend, as you know, is more heavily used than the weekday. So
it is about the signal lines, which is the main reason for the shutdown on that stretch. The 2 weekends that you're talking about previously are to replace the rails, for example, at the Neptune Avenue station. But I have it on really good, some really good information on it. That in fact, that they were not going to offer. I did send out a letter on behalf of the community on my end, as that is our home station, blasted them and the disabled folks and the seniors and things like that, that without shuttle bus service for them to go wherever they need to go, north or south, that certainly doesn't make any sense. So it's sounding like they're not planning any at this point.
Okay.
So
We could definitely
do you
write on that too.
both recommend we have a transportation committee meeting, or should we vote on something this evening? On our disappointment, because I'm sure most of us will will agree to that.
Do we know definitely that we're not getting shuttle? Definitely?
Well, that's what I heard, so I think we need to verify first.
Yes.
What the plans are, and then hold the meeting. That
Okay,
would only
so
make sense.
we're gonna hold the transportation meeting ASAP, guys.
Mhm.
Get a transportation meeting going
Yes.
on, Eddie,
Yes. I
as soon as
definitely-
possible,
Mhm.
so we can get a resolution and things,
Clarification, yes.
etc. Okay, are we done?
Joanne?
Yeah, I was at that meeting this morning and I was sitting at the table with the police and sanitation. And when I made the comment to sanitation that they are now in charge of illegal vendors, they knew nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. When the person in charge was brought up to the front, it turns out that their enforcement unit is going to be the one that's in charge. So my question to her was, how many does that mean? I said, because park enforcement is supposed to be doing our boardwalk and we know where that's going. Nowhere. So I never got a right number, and it's still in conference, and I don't think anybody knows what they're doing when it comes to the vendors. Steve Cohn came in at the end and he had just come from a big meeting, and he did not report to us about what came down, but he said it looked good. So, I don't know where that's going, but right now I think sanitation's in a flux, and I don't think they really know what they have to do.
Thank you, Joanne.
You mind if I chime in?
Who's me?
Oh,
Ray,
Ray,
I will
it's
see you
Ray.
at the end. Give me a minute, sir. I mentioned you, and I want you to chime in. Before I
No
continue, is Orlando still with us? Because I forgot to call him on the public session. Is he still with us? Okay, well then, somebody text and
we have
apologize
Yelena.
on my behalf.
Yelena?
Yelena, and then after Yelena, it will be Ray.
Okay, I was part of the same meeting, Mr. Cohen was. So I can report to everyone if you would like. I'm waiting for the summary to be sent to us, and as soon as I get a summary, I will send it to community board office as always. Actually, sanitation knows what they're doing, and it's their enforcement unit. Mr. Cohen and I, we spoke about our areas, about Coney Island and Brighton. I stress on multi-agency task force importance. We were promised that, and they are already doing some work in Manhattan and some downtown Brooklyn. I was told to send locations again, and they promised to come to our area. And it's great that Coney Island Alliance, they had this meeting. I would highly recommend for Community Board 13, in addition to district cabinet meeting, to have a meeting on enforcement when sanitation can come and do presentation for all of us to understand. I will send all necessary information who to reach out to tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Lucy, you want to go to Ray?
Yeah, go to Ray, and people are texting me about something.
All right, Ray. Are you still there, Ray?
Okay. What we're going through right now is an agency coming into a new program. They're taking in this portfolio they have to address a lot of illegal vending, and the illegal vending is going on citywide, and there are always nuances to all of them. So I've been speaking to them, and the way I understand it is that the complaints have to go into the 311 process, similar to what you used to do with DCWP. What they did is they moved the complaints over to sanitation using the same process. There's still some things that they're working through, but I've already tried the program. I will be seeing how the process works, because what I do involves illegal vending as well. So it will affect how I move forward and understanding the system. But at this time, we do have an opportunity to look at this, experiment with this, and if there are issues that need to be addressed in this early stage, this is the time to tweak it, make the recommendations, address the issues that you see are problematic with the system that it is. And moving forward, we'll be able to develop something that's usable, helpful, that addresses the issues that 413 has in Brooklyn, 412 in Manhattan, and all the other community boards that are dealing with this. So it is a learning process, it is a curve, and I'm confident that we're going to be able to address all of these issues. I really am. If there are some issues that you encounter when you're doing these, when you're making the reports, I would appreciate it if you bring them to my attention. I can make sure that they get to the people that need to hear them, so that we can address them in a timely fashion, and that they don't linger on and become a bigger problem as they snowball down the road. So if we work together, you as the community board making these complaints and understanding these issues, whether or not they're getting addressed in a timely fashion, how you're reporting it and how it's being responded to, and any other things that you think could help the process. I think sanitation right now is building on what they have, and they're trying to create something that's going to be functional. And I think you guys can play a major role in helping them get something that's functional, something that works.
Thanks very, very much for that information. So Eddie, with that being said, we'll be writing a letter to the MTA about the F line, as well as quality transportation meetings. So we have a head start with that. Let the MTA know that, what's going on, that we're not happy, and we would like them to also come to a transportation meeting. In addition, we will set up a sanitation meeting to see if they know their left from their right, like DCWP did not know either.
Okay.
And Ray can, and whoever from the mayor's office can please, and it's very important that we invite our elected officials on that. Anything else, Eddie?
No, nothing with the district manager report, but if you want me to go right into the treasury report.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For the people on the board, you received the third quarter. Basically, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items that we purchased within the last quarter. Basically, they were from office supplies, water, cleaning supplies, copier, maintenance, cable, business cards, and cleaning service, and rent. If there's any questions, please feel free to call the office and we can explain more in detail. All yours, Lucy.
Okay, thank you very much. And I know you guys heard this like a broken record. DCAS has finally looked like they agreed to give us a space. They're waiting to go, they're going to do negotiations with the lease. And they promise us by am I correct, Eddie, by the end of 2023, if everything goes well?
Yeah.
I'm not going to disclose it because in case we don't move in, we're back to square one. But we finally were able to get over a little bit of a hump. So cross our fingers that we are able to move. Sam? Are you with us?
It should be, Sam?
Yes, good evening, good evening, yes.
Anything to report, sir?
All right, so we got about 2 announcements. One of them is regarding the, right here, there it is, Saturday, April 29th, 11 a.m. at the YMCA. It's only pretty much a Healthy Kids Day by the YMCA. April 29th, 11 to 4 p.m. And then also have a wonderful event at Asa Levy Park, April 29th again, 10 to 12. It's about pretty much gardening. And, you know, if you have any questions, it's Friends of Asa Levy. It's pretty much about planting trees or planting plants. And hopefully you can enjoy it.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's move on with the agenda. There was something else on the top of my head. Eddie, the newsletter that you would have a deadline
Yes,
on Fridays?
yes. Friday. The new deadline is 2 p.m. If anybody wants to get any important information for the weekend, it has to be in by 2 p.m. So it'll be out by 5 that same day.
Thank you very much. The vote for the minutes was 34 in favor, 1 abstained. Motion carried. I'm going to change the agenda around. I'm going to move on to the executive committee so we can discuss the Coney Casino and Entertainment Resort resolution. Everyone should have received their resolution in the package. The resolution states for itself on the obvious, I shouldn't say obvious, sorry. It states that we had 2 open forums. In both forums, majority of the people spoke against the casino. And then I can't say obvious reasons. And as Ida indicated before, transportation, as the councilman indicated, as CB 15 indicated, and I hope that CB 11 will follow this resolution as well. I don't want to repeat the resolution. It is a 4-page document, 5-page document. It was a little lengthy. It could have been longer because we have a lot to say. And the motion carried at committee, 3 in favor, 3 opposed. Yes, 3 in favor, 3 opposed, 0 abstain, and 1 recusal. Any questions on the resolution that was sent to you?
Lucy?
Point of order.
Lucy, the vote was
Wait,
9.
Jeff, point of order from Michael.
It's at this point of the conversation that those that need to recuse themselves need to let that position be known to the assembly. And it is at this point that I need to recuse myself from voting, although I will be counted towards quorum. But due to family considerations, my niece happens to work with one of the players, for one of the players involved. And just to make sure that there is no questions going forward, I find myself having to recuse myself.
Thank you, Mr. Silverman. Anyone else?
Lucy, I think the vote count you gave was
Yeah,
incorrect.
it's not right, Lucy. It's 9. It was 9 in favor.
Yes.
3 opposed, and 1, I think, recusal.
That's what I said, did I not?
Oh, you said 3 and 3.
You said 3.
I'm sorry, 3 approved in favor, 3
No, 9.
9.
It's
9
9.
in favor, 3 opposed, 1 recusal at the committee. Thank you. My
You said
apologies.
3 in favor.
Okay, someone correct me and I won't say it again.
It's 9 in favor.
9 in favor, 3 opposed, 1 recusal.
Thank you. My apologies. It says it in paper here, but I don't know why I'm reading it wrong. Okay.
Can you just define what the resolution is?
We can't jump with everyone. Give me a minute, please. Give me a minute. I'm getting text messages. I'm getting this. I'm getting a little, and so I apologize. Let me go back to Michael Russo. Michael Silverman, Michael Russo, any other person that needs to recuse themselves off this resolution. If you do not comprehend what recusal means, Michael Silverman would explain it. Once, twice. Alan Newman, yes.
Hi, I'd like to, hang on one second, let me say that I wrote this down so I don't screw it up. I'd like to make a motion to postpone the submission of this
You
resolution.
can't, we're not discussing that. That wasn't what's not on the floor. So give me a minute, I'll get back to you.
Very
What's
good,
on the
thank you.
floor is any other recusals. Okay, I will get back to you, Alan. Yelena, Susan, go ahead. Yelena, then Alan. Susan.
Yeah, I just thought for those who were not at the executive session, if you could just explain what the resolution is, in just like in a sentence, or
I could, and I will, if you want, the
so that
resolution.
people
as I
understand
said.
what it means to be in favor and opposed. For people who haven't read it.
Okay, that's fair, that people that haven't read it, because it was sent to them, and as I said, it's a lengthy resolution. The resolution, as I tried to do it as brief as possible. The resolution was based on both forums. Both forums, majority of the community residents are not in favor for the casino. A couple of the bullet points is traffic issues. I'm trying to go there. Traffic issues, vehicle issues, seniors,
Crime.
Thank you. Crime increase in the community, taxes increase on property values. We have not heard anything to the fact of what businesses will receive in this community. We did hear that there is $3 billion proposed for the casino, hotel, the museum, and the water park, but no mention of the $3 billion going to anything in the community. Let's go back, let's go to the ending. Our councilman has already announced once again that he is not in favor. CB 15 has written a letter, or they're not in favor because there are adjacent community board. So we're recommending, based on a lot of these issues in the community that have been here for years. And in the ending, it also says that a lot of the issues that have been here in this community, we urge our elected officials to address them as they were appointed to do in office. And I think that's a little bit more of it. Is that okay, Susan?
Yeah, I was just
Or you
thinking
wanna-
the very
you wanna
last
add to it?
statement that the board is, the resolutions that the board recommends opposing the casino development.
Yes.
That's the gist of it.
Thank you. Opposing development in the district and urges the elected officials to vote no on the siting of the casino or entertainment resort of any kind. Yelena, Alan, and Michael.
My hand's up too.
Then you, Pat.
Yelena, you got unmute.
Yelena, you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening again. As a point of information, during those meetings and presentations, the abbreviation CBA came out. This is Community Benefit Agreement. And I would like to inform entire community board that in New York State, CBA is not a binding document and cannot be legally enforced. That's the law. It's not a law. So whatever is being promised, it doesn't mean it's going to be fulfilled. And I did my homework and I read a lot of articles. And the best example is Barclays Center. And the CBA was entered more than 10 years ago, and it's not fulfilled. The venue was sold by regional owners, and on and on and on. So I would like everybody to be very careful when you hear these community benefit agreements that might resolve all problems. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, I believe it was Alan next, right?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to postpone the submission of this resolution until our executive committee has had an opportunity to promptly meet with the casino's executive committee to substantially discuss our community's concerns and needs, including but not limited to existing business inclusion into their plan, a casino and food service job academy, public parking solutions, and additional access routes.
And Ms. Newman, I just want to ask you a question before we move forward with that. They were given the opportunity at both meetings to address those, and nothing was said.
Those were presentations. I agree. I was there, as you probably know. Those were presentations. I want an opportunity for our executive committee, our select handful, to sit down with their select handful and be very direct about our objections to their plan, to their lack of information that we're getting, and for us to have the opportunity to get a better chance to hear whether or not they're going to walk with us on this or walk against us on this.
When I reached out to them, give me a minute. When I reached out to them to have the second meeting, which was April 24th, I specifically asked them to do a PowerPoint to notify the community of what their intentions of what they're bringing and what they're not bringing. And they chose they chose to do just a very little small talk about saying that they don't understand how someone would not want their property value to go up. A resident responded back, because my taxes go up, and then when crime goes up, my reduction of my house, I can't sell it, but I'll be darned if the city of New York is going to reduce my taxes. So they had that opportunity.
Lucy, we would be glad to come in.
Excuse me, Ms. Lynch, we're in executive session.
I'm totally out of order, but we'd be glad.
Ma'am, if you wanted to speak on this, you should have signed up. We're in executive session, ma'am. Alan, they had that opportunity. So I respect what you're saying. And now I'll go to the next person. Thank you. I believe it was.
Thank you, Lucy.
Who was it?
Michael Russo. No, because he was out of.
Was it Pat or was it Michael? I'm not sure. If either one of you want to
Russo.
Go ahead, Michael.
Unmute.
You're muted, sir. You're muted, Michael. There you go.
There you go. I apologize. I have to recuse myself from voting, but I can't speak on the issue.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there was 2 quorums, one at the YMCA, one at my place at Gargiulo's. Yes, they did a presentation. They did not, at the one on April 19th, not April 24th, the one on April 19th, they did make a presentation. They didn't do a PowerPoint, but they did have slides on what, there were posters up. Saying what they want to do, okay? And you keep saying there were only 2 forums. There was a third one that was given to, I believe, pretty much the stakeholders, I guess, more the alliance. And you were also at that meeting, and you never bring that up. And they did discuss on what they are planning. It's only in the planning phase. It's, it's a large investment for them, and I have received 0 compensation from that thing. Yes, I did get paid for the thing last week, and if I knew it was gonna put me in a position where I can't vote on it, I would have never done it. I would have made him go somewhere else. But I found out through conflicts of interest. I can't talk on the speak. I did want the conflict of interest with the community board, and I can't speak on the process. That's first. Second thing is, I thought most motions should be presented in the positive, and this motion is not getting presented in the positive. It's getting presented as a down. Let's just vote against it. Either you should vote against the casino or Floor Equities or whatever other entity is proposing a project to come to Coney Island. Being the chairperson of economic development, and I've said this 1,000 times, we need to build. Someone else built everything in Coney Island, except for me. I did build in Coney Island, and I have a very prosperous business, and I'm very blessed with that. But someone years ago built the train stations, they built the buses, they built every home that's built in Coney Island. I can say with almost certainty that everyone who lives in Coney Island is a recipient of someone else's investment. So if you don't invest in the future, you're going to have no future. There's going to be a barren land. You're going to have, and the process is only in the infantile stages. So like I just said, we should think about tomorrow. I know there will be problems. I know there will be traffic problems. I know there will be crime. I know, but we can learn from the examples of every other place that this has happened. We can learn from Atlantic City. We can learn from Las Vegas. Okay, we are not dumb people. We're here discussing this like people. This resolution was written without a discussion. Okay, the resolution was written whereas, without a discussion going forward. And we need to go forward. That's how I live my life. I don't live for the past. I live for the future, and that's why we are developing on my property. I am not the owner of that building, but I did something for my future. And that's how I think we should, all Coney Island should be. Not for today, not for tomorrow, but for 100 years from now. Like the trains that service us, like the buses that service us, like all the buildings that everyone lives in, that the people get the opportunity to live in and enjoy Coney Island. Coney Island was the playland of the world. And this presentation that they're presenting before the city council is to bring the future to Coney Island, to make it the playground again. New York City is a very hard place to develop. It's a very hard place to bring new ideas. That's how I feel. And once again, I have to recuse myself from voting, but I am not going to recuse my voice. My voice is going to be heard, and my voice is going to be heard loud. Thank you very much.
Lucy, I have a question.
Joanne, you have to wait. You're out of order. You have to wait.
Yeah, but this whole thing is out of order. Alan put a motion on the floor. You blocked it.
And there wasn't a second.
You didn't ask for one.
I don't have to ask. I have to keep calling.
I second that motion. I
You
second
can't
it.
Second it. Stop. Let's not.
You
make
said
it
there
so
wasn't
weird.
a second, but nobody asked for a second.
Let me
Right.
finish. I have people's hands already risen, and I'm
You're
gonna.
not supposed to talk until there's a second.
No, listen.
Parliamentary,
and
can you
that's-
give an opinion on that? Do you discuss before a vote is second? That's Michael Silverman, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I'm
Is he
sorry, I
talking?
didn't hear you.
Oh,
Okay,
I was wondering
Michael,
if you can have a
let me-
discussion on a motion without the motion being second, because nobody asked for a second on the motion, but I want to second the motion.
What I was doing, Michael, was, let me explain where I was going with this. Michael Silverman, I have hands up. I was calling them in the order that were fit. And if anyone would have or will be seconding it, then the other hands will just have to wait until we take a roll call. That was what I was intending to do. So before you answer, I want to answer Mr. Russo, and then we'll move forward. Michael Russo, just so you know, you said that I keep saying there are two meetings. there were 2 public meetings. The developers have met with many other stakeholders here privately. And if they didn't invite the public, then all I can speak about is the 2 public meetings. And then I'm going to let that go. And then we're going to go to Michael Silverman. Go ahead, Michael.
All right, being that there is a duly made motion, you must have it seconded. And then you can first have discussion on the motion. If it's a motion to reconsider, that takes precedent over the motion that of the previous motion. Okay, so if we do have a second, we then need to vote on that, okay, to reconsider the committee's motion, whether it
Thank you.
passes or not.
Thank you. Pat O'Brien, what is your motion?
I'd like to second Alan's motion.
Which
And
is?
if Alan could repeat his motion.
Motion.
Alan, are you still here so you can repeat your motion?
Yes, yes, I am. I'm trying to put my camera back on. Give me a moment. There we go. Hang on one moment. There. Yes, let me repeat my motion. I make a motion to postpone the submission of this resolution until our executive committee has had an opportunity to promptly meet with the casino's executive committee to substantially discuss our community's concerns
Alan,
and
I need
needs.
to interrupt. I'm sorry. Are you presenting a motion to reconsider the executive committee's motion?
Yes.
Okay, then you need to say that.
And that
I make a motion to reconsider the executive committee's motion.
Then you can keep going. Go ahead. That's okay.
To postpone the submission of this resolution until our executive committee has had an opportunity to promptly meet with the casino's executive committee to substantially discuss our community's concerns and needs, including, but not limited to, existing business inclusion into their plan, a casino and food service job academy, public parking solutions, and 4, additional access routes.
Okay, Madam Chair, now do we have a second?
Pat O'Brien, seconded.
Okay,
Madam Chair, may I ask Alan to please send me a copy of his statement in the morning? My shorthand is good, but not that good anymore. Alan, will you send me a copy, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, Michael Silverman, there's been 2 motions to bring it back to committee. We need to do a roll call.
the motion to reconsider takes precedent over the committee's motion. Yes.
Absolutely. My intentions were not to not give that opportunity regardless what someone said. My intentions were to call people on the screen. And once an individual would have said, then I obviously would have said, okay, let's move on, as Michael Silverman has indicated. So if anyone took it as I was not trying to listen to the motion, that wasn't what I was intending to do. So the screaming, shouting from me and others is unacceptable. And I apologize for my behavior. So Michael Silverman, I would like you to explain to the members what they're voting on in favor, oppose, abstain, and obviously recusal, if you don't mind.
Okay, I believe everybody received a copy of the executive committee's motion that was to be fully presented at tonight's meeting. With that being said, there is a motion to reconsider presented by Alan Newman, presented this evening, and duly seconded by Pat O'Brien. The motion to reconsider, if you want to reconsider what the executive committee came up with, you vote yes. if you don't want to consider, if you want to approve, okay, what the executive committee proposes from their meeting, then you vote no, you don't want to reconsider. Okay? Now, once we know where we are with that, we then know whether we have to have a second vote on the executive committee's motion.
Any questions so no one's confused? And please do not hesitate to raise your hands.
Yes,
Okay.
Mike, can you repeat that once more time?
Robin. Okay, there's a motion on the floor to reconsider what the motion from the executive committee. The executive committee is, well, in plain English, is asking the community board members to vote against the information that we have from the casino, about the casino right now. Is that a fair representation?
Yeah.
Lucy? Okay,
Go ahead.
okay. If you want if you are interested in sending the executive committee back basically to the drawing board to hold a meeting with the casino group and have a meeting with them, according to Alan, would be the executive committee meeting with them. Then you want to approve, vote yes on having this reconsideration go through. Okay, you want to vote to reconsider. If you already have in your mind that you want to vote for the committee's recommendation and just say no to the casino and the group, you then vote against the reconsideration. Right, the vote right now is only to either reconsider or not the executive committee's motion. That's the only thing on the table right now.
The hands that are risen, if it's only based on Michael Silverman explaining how the voting is, then I will call you. If not, we're going to move on with a vote. Lakeisha, is it a question on voting?
Isn't there going to be discussion on the motion? Can I say something?
If your name's Lakeisha.
I have my hand up.
But your name's not Lakeisha.
But Pat, I don't understand. The motion's on the table.
I'm saying, no, but I'm saying to you, at the executive meeting, I asked for a motion to have this whole thing postponed until we get something in writing, the application, and I was ignored. And Michael seconded my motion.
Seconded, so we had no motion to vote. Lakeisha, I'm sorry. Lolita.
No worries. You can continue.
Lakeisha, go ahead. You have a question?
Go ahead, honey.
It's okay.
I only had one question to clarify. I understand what Michael says in terms of what to say, when to say no or when to say yes. But when Mr. Newman presented his motion, it was says postpone until we meet. But it's based on the fact that we are thinking that we're going to meet with the casino people. But if this is a motion to postpone until such time, there have to be a time limit in which until what we postpone. What if they don't agree to meet with us?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So there has to be, if we decide on that postponing visit for 1 month, for 2 months, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. That I just want to clarify that.
Excuse me, point of order. All right, I think basically all we're voting on is should we reconsider, have the executive board reconsider this? Or should we accept this as a done deal? Am I correct, Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Okay,
that's
so
all
we're gonna move
we're
on.
voting on. We do
Okay.
not have the power to say how long. We do not have the power to say anything else. Do you want to
Thank you.
reconsider it or not? Thank you.
So,
And to be, Lucy, I'm sorry, and to be even clearer, there's, there should be no discussion here either, but being that we're a homey type community board, okay, on procedural motions, there normally is not any discussion. It is voted up and down. Okay, so maybe we ought to get back to where we are now and vote.
okay, so I want to make it in lame terms for my understanding. And I truly appreciate Michael Silverman, okay? And if I'm wrong, please let me know. The executive committee approved a resolution in favor of what the contents are here. Alan, MJ, and Pat have decided that that this is not a fit resolution to bring it back to the committee and vote again, or to come up and try to get the developers there so we can discuss a little bit further. If you agree with them, say yes. If you agree with the existing resolution, you say no. And if you want to abstain, you abstain. And if you must recuse yourself, of my understanding, there are two people, there are two people. Michael Silverman is interrupting me. Go ahead. You're muted, sir.
There's no abstentions on procedural motions, and this is a procedural motion.
So that it would be
Everybody
yes or
can vote.
And will there be any recusals?
No.
Okay. So we ready? We all good?
So complicated.
Who said it's complicated? So we could clear it for you. Okay, let me try to do it again. The committee presented a resolution. They voted in favor of the resolution. Pat and Alan said that they would like it to be brought back to committee to have more information on the casino, etc. If you agree with them, you say yes. If you disagree with them, you say no.
Yeah, I understand that.
Oh, so why did you say you were confused?
No, I mean, I just think we're going around and around.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Okay, so let's do a roll call. Let's move on. Thank you, everyone.
Lucy Mujica Diaz,
No.
Lakeisha Bowers. Lakeisha? I just saw her. Okay, I'll come back. Maria Caggiano. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. It's just empty. Okay.
Maria?
You hear me, Hannah?
Yeah, now I
Hannah,
can see
you hear me?
Yes, I can see and hear you. What's your vote?
Yes, I agree with Pat on that one.
Okay, that's a yes. Thank you. Sanji Sefas? Sanji? Okay. Marion Cleaver?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if my microphone is working.
Yes,
Hannah.
yes, ma'am, I can hear you now. Yes. What is your vote?
You gotta have a camera.
Oh, my camera is not working with my browser.
Okay.
Can't vote. Move on.
Okay. Thank you. Marion Cleaver?
Later, ma'am. We'll explain it later.
Okay, no problem.
No.
Marion- Okay. Joe Carase?
Yes, let's get some more information.
Assad Dandia? Assad? I think I hear him. Julia Daniele?
Okay, I say yes.
Okay, thank you. Lolita Divilova?
Yes.
Thank you. Susan Flashenberg?
No.
Amaryllis Herrera.
No.
Queenie Hewling. Queenie, can you turn your camera on, please? There you
Yeah,
are.
it's on. Abstain.
Is your camera working?
You can't abstain. Michael said you have to say yes or no.
And be on camera like I had to be to vote.
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
Queenie, we see you. Thank you. What is your vote, please, ma'am? Oh, you're muted for some reason. Okay. Hi, Queenie.
I do a second. Let's go on and do a second. We're taking a lot of time here. She'll unmute herself and come back.
Yuri Krasner.
No.
Hear me?
Yes, Queenie, I can hear you.
Abstain. Oh,
You can't.
you
Madam, you
can't.
okay, I'll explain.
All right.
We cannot accept any abstentions. We could only have in favor or opposed. Queenie?
I have to think about it.
Okay, I'll come back to you then. Okay. Angela Kravchenko?
Oppose. No.
Okay, thank you. Yelena Mackin?
No.
Mark Marinick?
No.
Alan Newman?
Yes.
Pat O'Brien?
Yes.
Robin Wright Parison?
No.
Nodra Pirmikwamadova?
Yes.
Milagros Quilas? Milagros? Okay, I'll come
No.
back.
And just go
There
back.
you are. Thank you. Thank you. I got you. Sam Rinkovsky.
Yes.
Thank you. Michael Russo?
He can't vote.
I
Yes,
can
yes, you
recuse.
can.
I recuse myself.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought that because it's an amendment, you don't have to
I
recuse?
can recuse myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay.
On a
So you're-
procedural vote?
No, I
Yeah.
said
I'm
no.
sorry.
Can't.
You can't recuse?
No.
No.
Hannah, he can't vote.
That's
Please move on.
ridiculous.
No, they just told me.
Hannah, please move on.
You just told Queenie.
He can vote.
Yeah,
Michael Silverman can Russo vote?
Yes.
Russo can vote, but if he chooses not to, you're not gonna twist his arm.
Okay, thank you. Russo, what's your vote?
But he thought he couldn't vote.
Yeah, so did I. So I don't know. I'm confused. For this
I
part, I
recuse
guess I
myself.
understand. I thought he couldn't vote at all on this topic, and neither could you, Silverman. So Michael, go ahead, your vote. Russo.
Third time recusal.
Actually, Hannah, I'm sorry, it's Shimon Rinkowski. Change your vote to no, please. Change your vote to no.
Didn't
Shimon
know what he
Rinkowski,
voted.
no.
Okay, hold on. Okay, 1 second. Okay, all right. So Michael, Russo recused. Okay, Jeff Sanoff.
No.
Thank you. Tatiana Siegel?
No.
Michael Silverman?
Yes.
Pat Singer?
Yes.
Evelyn Strasser?
Hello?
Evelyn Strasser?
oh boy.
I'll come back. Barbara Teitelbaum?
No.
Okay, thank you. Edita Volovodovskaya?
Yes.
Dennis Verderis? Dennis? Come back.
Yes,
Oh,
sorry.
Thank you, Dennis. Gloria Watkins?
Yes.
Joanne Weiss?
No.
Annette Wesley?
Yes.
Thank you. Svetlana Zelenskaya?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back. Lakeisha Bowers, what is your vote, please? I can see you. You have to unmute. I could see you. What is your vote? She doesn't want, okay, I can't.
Come back to her. We got Queenie, I
I can see
believe.
her. Yes, Assad Dandia also. Assad, are you there?
Can you hear me? I don't know why the button wasn't
Oh,
on.
yes, ma'am. No, yes, Lakeisha, now I can hear you. What is your vote, please? I can't hear you. What?
I said no. Can you hear?
Yes, I hear you now. You said no. Thank you. Assad Dandia. Queenie Hewling.
No.
Thank you, Queenie.
And
Evelyn Strasser.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mario wants to say something?
He
Mario?
already voted. He has nothing to say. Move on.
Right, he can.
Boy, Sam.
Anyone else that you missed?
No, that's it. I've got everyone. Thank you. I'm gonna tally this
I'm
up.
sorry. Name is Yanina Koisman and nobody called me.
I'm sorry, what is your name?
Yanina Koisman.
There's no camera.
No, are you a board, are you a board member?
No.
Okay, this is for board members. This is a vote for board members, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
In the meantime, while she's doing that, did any other new board members show up so we can introduce them? Oh, no one? Okay.
Would you like for me to read the vote?
Please.
Okay, so it's 18 opposed, 14 in favor, and 1 recusal.
There's no recusals. Am I right, Michael Silverman? Or there is? I get confused right now.
Not on procedural motions, so
But if
his
that's
vote
the
just
case-
won't count.
So motion did not carry.
Excuse me, point of order again, all right? Michael, didn't you say you can't force someone to vote? And that was Michael Russo. You said you
Correct.
can't force him to vote.
Right.
I
Right.
recused
That's
myself
what I
because
just
I
said.
thought I couldn't vote on the motion.
You
The
didn't
original
listen,
motion.
Mike.
You can vote.
Doesn't matter. Voting is closed. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make or break the motion. Because it's 18-14, right?
The motion did not carry. We now proceed with the original provisional resolution that was presented from the committee, which I'll repeat again, was presented 9 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 abstain, and 1 recusal. Is there any questions on the motion was presented by the committee? And if you did not get a chance to read it or you want to make comments, please raise your hand and we'll be more than happy to acknowledge you. No one? I believe no one. Is
I would
everyone
like to
hearing me?
ask a question.
Oh, Queenie, go ahead, dear. I was shocked that no one, so go ahead.
When I asked to be abstained, they said, no, I couldn't, but someone else was recused. What's the difference?
Good question.
on procedural motions, there is no abstentions, okay? But we can't force him to say yes or no. So it just doesn't exist. All right,
So
he
when the
chose not to vote.
So when you say recuse, I could have gone that direction too, right? What
No,
does
you
that mean?
recuse
What's
yourself.
the difference?
You recuse yourself when you have
Conflict of interest.
a tie.
All
If
right,
somebody else wants
got
to
it.
explain it, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
If you have a tie to the business, or if you're getting something personally,
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
or something like that.
Are we okay, Queenie?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, dear, thank you. Joel, Carice?
If we vote no for this, what will be the result? We voted no to postpone it, and we might vote no not to do this. So what would be the next thing you would do as a committee? What's the result?
I don't know if I'll call another executive meeting unless a board member insists on it. I can bring another executive meeting to bring another resolution to the table, as what I believe Michael Russo and Pat O'Brien were trying to do. But as I stated in the beginning of this meeting was that we went and had 2 public meetings to have the community speak. While we have 50 members here, that I respect each and every one of you in giving your, input, I'll use that word, to that what we receive from the outside to bring it in the inside of this community board and vote on what the community wants. While we are 50 members, we have 50,000 residents in this community. We had majority of the people at both say no to the project. There were reasons as to why they said no. And one of the reasons, without me going to the entire agenda, was that the developers chose not to disclose a lot of the stuff that they were concerned about. And the response was, we're in a bidding process. We can't disclose it because maybe the other guy would take what we are offering you, but you can't. In my eyes, as a member, as a resident, I want to hear what you're going to give me. I don't want to hear it later on when you already have the license and then you already have it, and then I have no leg to stand on because you can still do whatever you want. And I believe I heard Yelena say several times that regardless what they promise you, it's not binding, but she can explain it a little bit better. I also said that a lot of the issues that were risen, that the developers said that they will be able to fix for our community, have not been able to get fixed by our own elected officials. For one example, Eddie Mark just introduced that the F train is going to be shut down on the weekends. We have fought for the F shuttle express to get here. And I'll use it sarcastically, if the magic wand is in the developer's hands, then the F Express will come here. If they can stop traffic that we cannot stop with our police force, if they can stop West A Street from not having to be closed during the summer because we need our emergency vehicles to get to people in a medical condition, then for me, that would be the greatest thing in the world. But open promises with no ending, that's the reason I would not vote for this project. Now, any other discussions? And Joe, was that a little bit clear to what I was saying?
Yeah, I was just concerned that if we voted this down, we'd be doing nothing. And I was, the importance of that I was trying to get across and to understand.
Thank you, sir. Yelena? You're muted.
Muted, Elena.
I'm mute. Yes, I'm mute.
In very, very simple words, I've heard people saying, let's see what is inside the project. Honestly, I don't care how many exactly parking spaces they're gonna propose, 2,000 or 2,200. I really do not care what's gonna be square footage of proposed casino. It's gonna be 500,000 square feet or 510. This resolution about the proposal, not about details of this proposal. So it's about residents of this community from Seagate to Brighton Beach to even to Manhattan Beach, because Community Board 15 got involved in Chesapeake Bay. Okay, it's about casino project, casino proposal. So what we are voting on, we are voting on a resolution that is based on community input, that community does not want casino. So it doesn't mean we have to wait. I mean, motion did not pass. We have to wait for details of square footage or number of floors or number of rooms in the hotel. It's about the proposal of the project. And let me repeat it again. CBA, Community Benefit Agreement, meaning whatever we are promised as a community is not a binding document and cannot be enforced in New York State. New York State, other states are luckier than we are. It's a binding document in some other states, but not in New York. Thank you.
So what you're saying is regardless what they promise us, it's not a binding document in New York State?
No, it's not. It's not. It cannot be enforced.
You know me, I'm a bullet point person. Jeff.
Let me give you some bullet points, Lucy.
Oh God, can I go to the bathroom? Because I heard these already. I'll be back.
You have probably heard them already. But the neighborhood, the residents, the community have already seen or heard from the thought people of what they wanted to propose. They had millions or thousands of hundreds of thousands of literature printed, okay, of what they're going to propose. They put out other literature about housing, public safety, local economy, quality of life, and environment, which were all basically not true. Okay, this is a wish list. Okay, I have to remind everybody that we were supposed to get a sanitation garage over 30 years ago. Okay, and we didn't get it. Okay, so the Chickasaw Indians are not going to wave their magic wand and we're going to get these promises that they made. We're not getting a ferry on the ocean side. They can't make the Army Corps of Engineers get their permits for that. They can't build a bridge over Dry Rafferman Park. Okay? They can't do it. They can't get the permitting for it. Dry Rafferman Park is built on a salvage, the Scarelli salvage business. Okay, we're trying to get some other stuff done. The Superfund, which is very, very important for the community, because we're an EJ community, EJ, environmental justice community. They're not going to get that done because there are other permits over there. They just can't do these things. They're selling us a bill of goods. Okay, I've been through it. Okay, I've been at enough meetings with them. Okay, this is what the community wants. That's why the community executive board voted 9 for this resolution, 3 against it, and 1 recusal. Okay, we speak for the community. We just don't speak for the developers. Thank you.
I want to recognize one of the new board members as she just chimed in, Linda Harrison. If you would like to say hello and introduce yourself, ma'am.
Thank you. My apologies for being late. Yes, thank you so much. I'm newly elected to the community board and look forward to working with you guys. And next time I'll get my schedule better and be in there on time. Thank you.
We apologize for the last minute invitation. It was not our fault. We received documentation from the Borough President's office late last night as early this morning. Just a point of information, when you vote, you must have your camera on. If you do not have a camera, let us know now and we'll know.
Okay.
And we'll explain everything to you at the May orientation. If you have any questions on how to vote, when the matter comes up, please do feel free to interrupt and we'll explain it as brief as possible. But again, those opportunities of having that information of how to vote will be presented to you at the Borough President's orientation. Evelyn Strauss.
Oops.
Evelyn?
She's muted. No. Oh, there you go. Evan, unmute yourself.
Am I muted?
Yes.
No.
Now you're unmuted.
Okay. All right, question for you. Can I change my vote?
No.
Okay.
It's closed already. I apologize.
All right. Okay.
Pat Sager.
Call the motion?
No, Pat, we're still discussing it. Pat Singer had her hand up several times.
I don't have it up now.
We're on discussion on the resolution, Pat, if you want to make your point.
My point was, because this is all speculation, until you see the application, then you have it in black and white what he wants to do, and then you can get an honest vote. This is undemocratic, and this is wrong, and this is with misinformation and people's opinion. It's not the way to go.
But if we're hearing anyone else, Joanne, because I know.
Everybody's saying here who's against it, but you're not going on fact, you're going on speculation and your own opinion.
Not my opinion. I'm going on the community's opinion. I'm going to make that clear to you, Pat Singer. Do not accuse me that it's only my opinion. The community cannot even get out of this district on holidays, on 4th of July, on other big.
Well, that's
major
what we have to
events.
see. What do they can do to make it feasible to do this?
Okay.
Because they have to make money. They have to get people to come in and come out of there. If they can't do it, then it's a dead deal. But you've got to see what they're thinking about and what they're looking to do with these problems. You just don't close the door without seeing what they're saying and what they're trying to do. If they can't do it, they're not going to do it because they're not going to make money.
I've been here for 30 plus years, and most of you have been here longer than I. And I can hear, me personally, I know that many of my friends say, where are our lifeguards? We beg every year. We beg every, let me finish, Pat, let me finish and I'll let you speak. We scream every year, where's our lifeguards? And yeah, now I heard in the news, I think they're gonna make $20 an hour, a little bit more. So maybe we will be able to get lifeguards, but that's all I hear from Parks Department is saying we don't get enough people that sign up. Are you telling me that the developers, okay, I'm not gonna speak. Go ahead, Pat.
Just saying, I heard this, but I'm saying to you, all these problems, the legitimate issues, but let's sit down and see what can be done. If it can't be done, the deal is dead. They have to make money. They got to get people to come and go, and they have to be secure here. But who's going to benefit are the kids who need jobs, the parents that need jobs here. If we can get them, they're talking about $31 an hour. Maybe it could be more. It'd be apprentices.
Are you saying that they're offering $31 an hour pay for this community?
I'm not. But it's an idea that But I want to see it in writing too. I want to see the application. But I like the idea that this kind of opportunity might be coming to Coney Island. Just saying no. They have to deal with these problems, otherwise they're not going to go forth. There's no sense.
Thank you.
Lucy, can I say something?
I believe it's Marianne, then Anastasia, and then Pat.
Okay, what I would like to say, excuse me, I thought it was me. What I would like to say, all right, is I don't know how many remember us voting and discussing the stadium, the Mamamadi Stadium. And how many people were against the concept of building a stadium in a place where it's almost impossible to get through to Coney Island to go on the rides during the summer. And here they put up the stadium. And my point is, right now, they can't get the emergency vehicles down there, right? So by us saying, these are basically what we're saying, these are our concerns. It's the same thing that Community Board 15 said. They are concerned about traffic. They are concerned about the overall effects of this on a community. They're looking for jobs, yes, but they're also looking for realistic jobs, not minimum wage jobs. We have outlined all the things that we are looking for by saying that why we're against it. So if someone says, I'm against something, and they can come up with a plan, I am ready and willing to listen, and I will listen. But right now, we have to be vocal for the entire community. And that's all I'm saying, and that's what we're doing.
I want to add to the comment of the jobs is that they, without the knowledge of this community board, chose to go and place a flyer behind our flyers for the meeting that was presented last week. And one of the topics was community residents, please bring your resumes for jobs. I don't even know what to say the word. I just was screaming because how can you ask people to bring a resume for jobs that are not even available? And my understanding from someone was that when they did show up, they told them we have jobs to offer in Yonkers, but not here in Coney Island right now. And that individual was so upset because they went there to look for a job. And there is a need of jobs here, absolutely. But when you go there, these are the things that I don't like. That when you promise something to this community and you promise it that way, and an individual that I don't know if this individual himself may have not had a previous job, but was just looking for a second job, or was just looking for, a higher paying job. But he went there and he was told, there's nothing for you here, but we can offer you something in Yonkers. And he said, based on this flyer, it says, bring my resume. So think about that. Anastasia, Pat O'Brien, and Julie Daniels.
That's Amaryllis.
Amaryllis, sorry.
If Amaryllis isn't speaking, Pat?
Yes, I've been to both of the meetings in Coney Island and the executive board meeting. Now, we done voted all these times. I hear everybody saying, no, 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 no. We just voted just now. That's the fourth time. And now y'all still telling us we need to change it again. That's democratic. That's undemocratic. Now, we should not be doing this over and over and over. We keep taking votes and we're saying no. I don't understand.
Looking at Pat O'Brien and then Julia Daniels, and that's the end of this. We're gonna vote.
All right, well, they say there are 3 licenses available, but everyone knows there's really only one. And there's about 8 very, very rich entities vying for the one. The only shot that the Coney Island people have of getting this is to negotiate something very impactful with the community. And we actually probably should get lawyers, because if Helene is right and it's non-binding, then I wouldn't do it either.
Right.
But we have one of the rare chances of making something happen, because the only way they can get the money is to actually not only promise us things, but it has to be enforceable. And if it's not enforceable, if Helene is right, then we shouldn't do it. But that's the only reason why I wanted to table it. It's not like I'm only for giving them a chance to actually win this contract, because the only way they could possibly win it is to offer this community something that no community has ever been offered before. Otherwise, it's going to Times Square. There's no chance they're going to get it. So I just wanted to clarify why I'll probably vote against this motion. But if Helene is right, then you're right. It's useless if we can't get something enforceable. But there are people like Majari Carter, who was in our community at at a local library recently who's done some major revitalization in Bronx communities. She basically says it can be done. And I would like more urban planners involved in telling us about the successful community-based agreements or whatever we would call what's going to be enforceable. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Thank you, Pat. Michael Russo, I'm going to recognize you, but you are the last person. I'm not recognizing anyone else after this, and I have the right to do that. I'm going to do it as a courtesy because I said after Ms. Daniels. Julie, go ahead.
Okay. Hi. My thing is, I went to the meeting at the Y, and we all know that I am in favor of the casino. Okay, so I'm going to make that clear from the beginning. I don't have any personal interest or anything of that sort. So as a resident, that's my prerogative, just like others have the reason to say no. My thing is, in these meetings, again, they were presentations. They weren't really any type of meetings of sitting down with these people and having an adult conversation without the disrespect that some of these meetings accumulated with the yelling back and forth. There's a lot of good things that come from this, and there's also a lot of bad things that could come from this. But in the same token, we're still going to experience those type of things because we're experiencing them now. Okay, we just have to find a way to make it better. What's going to make it different with all these big housing developments that are being built? That's not going to alleviate the traffic. That's not going to alleviate the crime. That's not going to alleviate the lack of jobs, because if you go look at those job sites, not too many Coney Island people are at these job sites. All I'm saying is they deserve a fair chance to come to sit at the table and see what else, but without all the added ruckus. Because a lot of, in all reality, think about it. People went to this meeting, but how many people are in this community? 1,000 more than what came to the meetings. So not everybody's voice is really being heard. So some people abstain from coming to these meetings because they don't want to go through the ruckus. So the community board that really cares about this community needs to not go on personal feelings, but find out. I'm going to take a survey of my development to see how many people are for it and how many people are against it. That way I would be able to make a conscious decision. See, but I know that everybody on the community board doesn't, it's not like nobody is assigned a certain parameter of blocks where, let's say, Mr. O'Brien, he takes care of West 31st to West 35th to get some type of consensus of what's going on. None of that is being done. So we're only going really on the screaming and yelling. That's why I kind of abstain. Although I had another meeting that day, I couldn't go to the one at Gargiulo's. But we, sometimes we need to sit down and talk to, something's going to come here. If the casino doesn't come here, what's going to come? They're not just going to let their property go to waste with nothing on there, not making no money. Everybody wants to live good. So, I'm just saying for further meetings, maybe they need to be toned down and brought to a table where responsible adults are going to talk back and forth. We don't have to follow a community agreement. We can get, like Pat said, we could get some lawyers and make it a different binding agreement. There's things that could be changed. It's just a matter of having a conversation with these people, these entities that can make something good happen for this community, because we're lacking in a lot of stuff. And whether it comes or not, we're still going to have the same problems. Crime, no lighting, no, all the things we go through now, we're still going to go through it, because if the casino don't come here, there'll be 10 more buildings coming up down Mermaid, Surf, and Neptune that we're still going to have to deal with the same traffic. And I yield.
All right, thank you, Ms. Daniels. I just want to mention to you that unfortunately, I'm sorry you couldn't make the second meeting, but as I stated before, prior to the meeting, my question to them with Eddie Mark was, are you going to let the community know what you're bringing to us? And they said yes. And when we got there, we had a few, what do you call those things?
Poster boards.
Thank you, poster board. Take a picture of that, and they did not tell us, to my own opinion, anything that they were bringing to this community. So they did have it. And at that meeting, there was not one shouting match. I think one person screamed out of order. and then they apologized. And so they did get the opportunity, because that was my main thing, was those are in favor and those that are opposed, I want them to get together. And one of the responses was from Robert, was that people did not want to come out and say if they were against the casino because they were intimidated. I've lived here for 30-something years. I can't imagine anyone in Coney Island being intimidated. Pat O'Brien stood up there proudly and said what he had to say, and not one person, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, said Pat O'Brien, sit back and shut up. They respected him, what he had to say, and we moved on. I just want to comment on that. Michael Russo?
Thank you, Lucy. I'm just going to bring up 2 points quick, and then let's try to end this night because it's been a long night.
We have a lot of items, yes, sir.
All right. I want to bring up 2 points quick. The first point was at the second meeting, they did bring up the point that they had 3,300 signatures. I did bring up to them how many no's, and I never got an answer. Okay, that's the first question. Second question is the CBAs can be binding. I received a note that the CBA for the Buffalo Bills Stadium has binding facts that go along with it. So I don't know about what Elena says. I'm not sure. I don't have all the facts, but the CBAs can be binding. All right. So let's finish this night. Let's move on. And, the vote was made. It's pretty, not to say it was 100% for, 100% against. It's a 50-50 vote, minus 1 or 2 votes. So, the motion's been said, the vote's been taken. Let's take a vote on the resolution. And we'll move on.
Okay, so we're going to move on. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Michael Russo. I'm not going to accept any more comments on this. So this is where we stand. We're back to one more vote. I think it was Queenie that said how many times, or somebody said Anastasia, so I can't remember, said how many times we're going to vote. We're going to vote one more time on the existing resolution that came out of the committee. And the ending of that resolution was CB 13 has listened to the community and recommends opposing casino development in our district and urges the elected officials to vote no on the siting of a casino or entertainment resort of any kind. With that being said, if you agree to this resolution, the 5-pay resolution, you vote yes. If you disagree, you vote no. If you choose to abstain because you can't make up your mind, you abstain. And if you're required to recuse yourself, you must recuse yourself. Any questions on voting?
Lucy, can we vote backwards and have it the final vote?
The meeting's not over.
The meeting's not over, Barbara.
The meeting's not over. Read the agenda.
We got licenses and we still got the donate.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
I'm sorry. I mean, we could postpone probably an item here, but or two, but the licenses I cannot, because people have 30 days that they need to submit it. So I apologize. I was trying my best. Sorry, I was trying my best to bring it as having the 3 meetings so we wouldn't have a 2-hour discussion. So the motion's on the table. Thank you, Michael Silverman. Any questions on how to vote? Any questions on how to vote?
Yes to revisit and no to leave it as, or yes to leave it as and no to revisit? Which one is it? Because before we did no to revisit.
That's
and
done.
Yes,
that's
We get that. Okay.
That's gone, Ms. Daniels. What we're voting on right now is the resolution that came out of committee. I read therefore be it resolved. If you agree with it, you vote yes. If you disagree with it, you vote no. If you would like to abstain, you abstain. And if you recuse, you recuse.
Okay.
Good? We're good. Roll call.
Right.
Lucy Mujica Diaz.
I'm sorry, did you call me?
Lucy Mujica Diaz.
Yes for the resolution at a committee.
Lakeisha Bowers. I'll come back. Mario Caggiano. I'll come back. Sanji Sefas, if your camera's not working, if it is, you can vote. Okay. Marion Cleaver.
Yes.
Joe Carese,
Yes.
Assad Dandia,
Yes.
Julia Daniele,
No.
Lolita Divilova,
Yes.
Susan Flashenberg,
Yes.
Linda Harrison.
Yes.
Thank you.
The meeting is being
Amaryllis
recorded by the
Herrera.
host.
Yes.
Thank you. Queenie Hewling,
Yes.
Yuri Krasner,
Yes.
Angela Kravchenko,
Yes.
Elena Mackin,
Yes.
Mark Mernick,
Yes.
Alan Newman,
No.
Pat O'Brien,
I appreciate the committee's hard work. It's just too soon, so I'm abstaining.
abstain, okay. Thank you. Robin Wright Parison,
No.
Nordra Pinamukhamadova.
No.
Okay, thank you. Milagros Quiles,
Yes.
Sam Rinkovsky,
Yes. Yes.
Michael Russo recusing, right?
Recuse, yes.
Okay. Recuse. Jeff Stanoff,
Yes.
Tatiana Siegel,
Yes.
Michael Silverman.
Recusing.
Thank you. Pat Singer,
No.
Evelyn Strasser,
Yes.
Barbara Teitelbaum, Barbara Teitelbaum, you there?
Oh, we didn't hear you, Barbara.
Yes.
I didn't hear what she says.
She has no camera.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, Barbara. I got, yes, thank you, thank you. Edita,
No.
Dennis Verderis,
No.
Adita has no camera. That's I don't know what it is. She has no
Never
camera.
mind.
That's not her
No,
face.
no, she
There we go.
did click on herself for a
Oh,
second.
I'm sorry. I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
sorry.
I'm,
Yes.
my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, Dennis Verderis,
No.
thank you. Gloria Watkins,
No.
Joanne Weiss. Where's Joanne? Joanne?
You can shake your head if you want, or shake your head this way or that way. We got to get going. She
Okay,
says
so,
yes.
Yes, I see that. Annette Wesley,
No.
thank you. Svetlana Zelenskaya,
Yes.
I'm going back. Lakeisha Bowers. She having issues again?
Yes.
Lakeisha Bowers, yes, okay. Mario Caggiano?
Abstain.
Abstain. Robin Wright Parison? Did you?
Yes, it's yes to move forward with the resolution presented.
Okay, yes, Robin, okay, so I'll put. Anyone else that didn't call, maybe? Okay, thank you.
Hey, I apologize that it took so long, but it's a hot issue. And we want to get it right. That doesn't mean that if they come back tomorrow and say they have $10 billion, we won't chime in. Licensing committee and Yelena, I think we could bundle some up, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 committee meetings this month. So we have a lot of licenses according to information you receive on agenda. We also have to bring back 2 votes we voted last time due to technical issue. And let me remind you, what are those 2? It's a IHOP for a license, and it's wait a minute, and it's pancakes. Okay, Day Party LLC. It's a art wall. Okay, We have to revisit the votes, and I presented last meeting, and I want to say a few words about day party. I presented last meeting and I said that it's an art wall, and we were concerned. Also, I said that we did not receive stipulation, but it was some technical issue. Stipulation was sent, office did not receive it in time, so we have to revisit it. Also, one of the items we have on our agenda, we had to revisit something regarding Juice and More. It's a bar, cafe, restaurant, whatever you call it, collected on 1915 Mermaid Avenue. We approved their liquor license, but we received complaints, mostly noise complaints. So we called Mr. Kelly, who owns the place, to come to the meeting, and we asked him to change his business hours, because previously he had until 2 o'clock in the morning every day, and business hours were changed. And he sent us an updated resolution, what we agreed upon during the meeting. So since it's 10 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock, I would propose to vote on all of those licenses. And if you vote differently for either one, please indicate.
Roll call? Elena, the committee said what again?
Committee said what?
What about those two places? You didn't say what the committee said.
No, committee approved those two places previously. Committee approved those two places on March. And we voted for those two places during the March community board meeting. But we have to revote those two entities because of the technical issue that prevented office and receiving corrected stipulation on time. So we have to bring it back. Again, let me remind you, one license, it's IHOP, it's a new wine, beer inside the license. And the other one, it's a Day Party LLC, it's an art wall. Everything else was approved by committee with no abstention and no recusal, and no opposition.
So you're voting on IHOP and Day Party together?
And on everything together. I mean,
Oh.
otherwise we have to take two votes.
Okay, so you have one,
I
two,
have one,
three,
two,
four,
three.
five, six.
Yeah, plus Juice and More. And
Yeah, so
I'm not
six.
sure we have to vote on it, but since committee took votes to approve their new stipulation, as far as I understood from great explanations from Mike Silverman before, we have to bring it to the full board. So
we
this
have
is what,
7.
7, yeah, all 7 licenses. If you vote differently on either one, please, okay.
Okay.
Please make sure you let us know.
Okay, so let me go again briefly as possible. She's voting on all 7 licenses. If you vote in favor for all 7, you say I'm in favor for all 7. If you vote in favor for I'm in favor for IHOP, but opposed for the other 6, just announce it that way. If you're confused, we'll try to explain it, but this will save us an hour of time from voting on each resolution. Any questions?
Do we need a motion?
No, because it came
No,
out of
it's
committee.
Committee.
Okay.
Roll call regular way, Madam Chair?
I just have one question for Day Party. So these were all in favor to approve, just for Day Party as well, all in favor to approve?
all in favor to approve in a committee meeting.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
But-
I saw it now. I apologize.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, you can go with the roll call. Hannah, what was the roll call for the casino, please?
It was 23 in favor, 8 opposed, 2 abstained, and 2 recusals.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, and we'll send that out to everyone. Okay, so go ahead, and then Lucia will do the last one. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lucy Mujica Diaz,
Yes for all 7.
Lakeisha Bowers, Mario Caggiano,
God.
Marion Cleaver,
Yes, for all 7.
Joe Carase,
Yes, for all 7.
Assad Dandia,
Yes, all 7.
Julia Daniele,
Yes, all 7.
Lolita Divilova,
Yes to all 7.
Susan Flashenberg,
Yes, for all 7.
Linda Harrison, Linda Harrison,
Sorry about that. I'm here. Yeah, yes for all 7.
thank you. Amaryllis Herrera, thank you. Queenie Hewling,
Yes, for all 7.
thank you, Queenie. Yuri Krasner,
Yes, for all 7.
thank you. Angela Kravchenko,
Yes, all 7.
thank you. Yelena Mackin,
Yes, for all 7.
Mark Mernick,
Yes to all 7.
Alan Newman,
Abstain.
For all 7?
Abstain for all 7, just to be safe.
Thank you,
yes.
sir.
thank you, Alan. Pat O'Brien,
7 up. Yes.
yes, you just scared me, Pat. Yes,
Yes.
yeah, yes, for all 7?
All 7. Yeah. 7
Thank
up.
you.
7 up.
You just woke us up. Thank you, Pat. Okay, Robin Wright Parison,
Yes to all 7.
thank you. Nodra Pirmik Hamadova,
Yes to all 7.
thank you. Milagros Quiles,
Abstain to all 7.
thank you. Sam Rinkowski. Sam? I just saw him. Okay, I'll come back. Michael Russo,
Abstained,
to all 7?
all 7. Abstained, all 7.
Okay. Jeff Sanoff,
Yes to all 7.
Tatiana Siegel,
Yes to all 7.
thank you. Michael Silverman,
Yes, all 7.
thank you. Pat Singer,
Yes, to all 7.
Evelyn Strasser,
Yes to all 7.
Barbara Titlebaum,
To all 7.
thank you. Edita,
Yes to all 7.
thank you. Dennis Verderis,
I will say no to Art Worlds, yes to the remaining 6.
okay. No to day party, you mean?
Day party, I'm sorry.
Yes. And yes to the rest 6. Okay, thank you, Dennis. Gloria Watkins,
Yes to all 7.
Joanne Weiss,
I'll say yes to 6, no to the art walls.
day party.
I don't care what you call it. It's the same thing.
Okay. And that's Wesley.
Yes to all 7.
Svetlana Zelenskaya,
Yes to all 7.
Mario Caggiano,
Yes,
yes to all 7.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And Sam Rinkowski, Shimon Rakovsky. I just saw you. Where are you hiding?
I don't see him.
I just saw him. He was here. Okay.
Okay.
And also you have Sabina.
Sabina, the new board member, is here, Eddie said.
Yes.
She just got in. Okay, so.
Oh, wait, Sabina?
Sabina, are you with us?
1 second. Sam Rakovsky, you here?
No, I don't see him.
No vote. Okay, thank you. Okay, Sabina Pirimukhamedova, are you here?
Sabina, the new board member, would you like to introduce yourself?
Uh-oh.
Eddie, give me a second.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me? I'm sorry, my camera is not working.
Okay, so no vote. Thank you.
Okay, because your camera's not working, no vote, but we'll explain that to you at the orientation, but welcome. And I want to apologize to all the board members, the new ones, not the old ones. We never really go on this long, but you know, sometimes it happens. So here we are. Just be lucky we're home and we can drink wine later on or take off our shoes and don't say it, Michael. But we should be finished soon. And I really appreciate everyone's patience and, you know, we get a little tense on items, but that's why we're here to help the community. Okay, Hannah, did you finish with the roll call?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we have one more item, which is well, before we go to land use, I'm going to switch the agenda because then once we do the agenda and we do land use, that'll be the roll call to leave. Any old business? Any old business that would like to be presented? Any new business that would like to be presented? Lakeisha, old business or new business? It doesn't matter, just say it.
Well, I don't know what is going to be considered, but I just have a suggestion if it's something that can be done, because I think that, and I know that it's not usually this long, it's almost 11 o'clock, but we do usually have it a long time. And when we go in person to these meetings, I think it's going to become an issue. So if we have main topics like the casino, which would be a hot topic,
Yes.
do it a way that we just have that meeting as opposed to all the additionals with the elected officials speaking, having guest speakers, because ending a meeting at almost 11 o'clock is ridiculous for people to have to work. So that's just my thought, my opinion.
No, and I really appreciate your opinion, but keep in mind, we started almost 40 minutes late because of technical issues. But I will make sure that if there's hot issues, not to have any presenters and possibly, you know, do the best to my ability is not to have the Lex talk more than, you know, the 5 minutes with no Q&A. But, you know, because of the issue, we have to vote as a whole board. So, you know, we have 3 meetings on it. So that was one of the reasons to have 3 meetings, to have the whole discussion. So when we got here, we wouldn't have a 2-hour discussion. So I apologize, but sometimes it happens, but we did have technical issues and I get it. Thank you.
And thank you for all your hard work that you do for the community. It's well appreciated and noted.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other new or old business? Joanne Weiss.
Okay, at the last 60th Precinct Council meeting, the new director of the Alliance, and this is all in due respect to him, he's new, but he made a statement that the people in the community, if they have issues with parks or sanitation, are to come to the Alliance. The Alliance does not speak for Coney Island. The community board speaks for Coney Island. And I think the community board should send something out telling the community very clearly that if they have a problem, they come to the board. They don't go to the Alliance. The Alliance has its own issues to deal with. And I just took exception to that. And granted, he's new and it's no disrespect to him, but for him to get up in front of a meeting, a community meeting, and tell the people here to come to the Alliance and not go to the community board.
Там не было клея. Коробка была пустая. Посмотри в культе.
And on another meeting is the 3rd Tuesday of the council meeting, the 3rd Tuesday of the month. Please, everybody come down. Thank you.
Noted, Joanne. Thank you. Any good and welfare? Okay, so now we're gonna do the land use. Hopefully it's not a lengthy discussion. It is the guidelines, and that will be the final roll call as well, and then we'll say goodnight. And we are in April. We will have our main meeting in Zoom, and then we will have the full board meeting in June. Hopefully people will
In person.
attend, and the full board meeting will be in person in June.
Mark
You
has
have a question?
Mark.
Oh, it was by mistake. Okay. Yes, we've already voted on that. I don't know who said it in person, but we voted on it last month. Where was I? So let's go on land use. And remember to roll call backwards, whoever's doing the roll call. Marianne or Sam? I mean, yeah, Marianne or Sam?
Somebody.
Sam's phone died. So Mary, it's up to you.
Is she here?
Yes, she is.
Yes, she's
All
here.
right. Yes, she's here. All right. Everybody was given a outline, a draft of Brooklyn Community Board 13 street co-naming requests, guidelines, and applications. I'm going to go page by page because this is very long. The first page and the most important thing is that we, Community Board 13, is going to abide by the ceremonial street naming policy and local law, blah, blah, as set by the New York City Department of Transportation. The only item that has been discussed has been the fact that Councilman Kagan believes that having a minimum of being deceased for 3 years is too long. And he pointed out that he felt it was wrong that 1 year would be more fair, he guesses. Okay, so I don't know how you're gonna handle this, Lucy. We can take a brief polling. Does anybody care the difference between 3 years and 1 year?
Yes.
I mean, that's what is called a discussion.
All right, we can have a discussion about it now.
Yes, let's move on. That's the only discussion that I know of.
That's the only discussion that I know of. You must be a resident, you must have a significant interest. That's the first page, basically. Second page, it's a form. The community board wants the applicant's name, his address, his phone number, his email, what streets they're talking about, what the cross streets are, the relationship, blah, blah, goes on forever. Very good questions to be asked. Right? The important thing on the third page, if someone has been a victim of a crime, a police officer, a fireman, whatever. All right. If it's being proposed to honor a organization, making sure that it's hopefully a not-for-profit organization. Has anything else been renamed? Again, anybody have any questions about that? Don't see any. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Marion. Quick question. Did you just say because somebody was convicted of a crime, they can't have a street named against them?
No.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh,
No. I think we have it. I said a commitment to.
They may have been a victim of a crime.
Victim of a crime.
Victim of a crime.
Or a fireman.
Or a fireman is a victim of a set fire. Or a policeman is shot while on duty. All right?
Yes.
All right. An organization is an organization demonstrated an 8-year commitment to and participation in the life of the community. All right. And then the person has to certify that he declares under penalty of perjury that the information is valid. The other thing is he needs petitions to be signed by actual people, and it has to be dated. And that's not asking anything above and beyond anything.
Yeah, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Mariam, you said nonprofit, does that include the churches?
Yes, it should. They're nonprofit.
So it means no churches could be named, street could be named after a church. Even though they could be in the community for years.
Yes.
Lucy's shaking her head, no.
No, I'm saying they could.
They could.
They could.
Yeah, as long as this is filled out, they're petitioners, they're signers, blah, whatever. It would seem very fair if a church has been in the community and helped in the community for X amount of years.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Lucy?
I just want to note for the record, which you didn't say, and this is very important in my opinion. The petition itself, Lucia, she did it and it's 100 signatures, you said?
150. 150, yeah.
Signatures. What I am very excited about is that whoever submits this petition to us has to notarize each page stating that the signatures they received was from residents in this community, not just from people coming off the train
Are we
station.
saying notarize or just sign that
The
page?
that
They have to sign the page, not notarize it.
Notarize each page.
You want each page to be notarized? You
Yes.
can't do that. The only way you can notarize it is a notary has to be there when every single person signs.
No. What is being notarized is that you, Marianne, collected the 50 signatures with good faith. Not that we notarize each signature that's on here, that you didn't go at the train station and go, everybody that's going to the Wonder Wheel, can you sign this? You notarized that in good faith. You went around to the community people and got signatures that, they live in this community and they want this co-naming. Thank you.
There was there was one item of discussion brought up by the councilman, the amount of years that a person has to be deceased. Does anybody have any opinions on this? Right now, we say 3 years. Originally, this document was written for 5 years, and the councilman is saying 1 year.
That's reasonable. That's where you all agreed upon, I think, at the committee.
I didn't catch what you were saying, Pat.
You all agreed at 3 at the committee?
The committee agreed at 3. They lowered it from 5.
That's good for it.
What he did point out is that certain people would not have had streets named after them.
That's what we would know, lowered it down from 5 years to 3.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he pointed it out, but you made it clear that was the reason is because dirt comes out of the woodworks later on.
Well, yeah. I just think of Bernie Carrick, that's all.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm gonna and hopefully this is recorded, but the dead is dead. And if you wait 3 years, he's not gonna make a difference if the sign is up.
And they can start collecting the petitions.
Right.
It's gonna take a while to collect 150 signatures.
This is when I hear him say a year, to me, it's a rush because they only meet twice a year, the council, to vote on these. So you're rushing it as a council person to get the approval under your domain.
Under your watch.
I agree with the 3 years.
Does anybody else have any?
Yeah, Michael and
Gloria's raising her hand, excuse me. Gloria?
Yes, I believe and I think that when getting signatures, because a lot of things is going on and a lot of people live in Coney Island, but a lot of people is not residents of Coney Island. So I think when getting signatures to see if somebody could present ID with their address and their name that signed it. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I have one question, Ms. Chair, Madam Chair, right? Does it say live in Coney Island or live in the boundaries of Community Board 13? I don't have it up on my screen right now.
The only reason I say that
No,
because it's a-
Gloria, let her answer this first, okay?
Okay.
All right, because CB 13 is a fairly large area. It does include a lot more than just Coney Island and Brighton Beach.
I understand.
Right.
All it says is the name and the signature, your address and
Excuse
zip
me.
code.
Wait, Lucy, you can't talk over people. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you asked me a question.
I asked you, somebody else was talking, not you. Go. No, look, please.
I was just gonna say that I thought I heard the boundaries of Community Board 13, that's all.
Lucy, please answer my question, please.
Boundaries. I answered it.
Boundaries.
The boundary we said was Community Board 13, had they allowed to live within Community Board 13, and you said something about the district community could change lines, but the Community Board is the Community Board, right?
Community Board is the Community Board, yes.
Okay, we have Michael Russo.
All right, I don't see everybody.
My
Michael?
hand is up. The only
I
question
know,
I
I
have,
only see so many squares.
the only question I have is with Councilman Carey, whatever he said is, if we send this to city council, can they take it back? Because our timeline was too long.
No.
It's our guidelines, like we do our guidelines for liquor licenses.
Okay, thank you.
It's guidelines, that's all it is.
And we're not changing their guidelines. Everything that they require is in here. I'm not recognizing anyone else. We're gonna do a roll call.
Right.
Want to explain how the roll call goes, Joanne? I mean, Marion?
The roll call is gonna be backwards, you're gonna be.
It's
We'll go by
gonna
the
be
end.
backwards. So if you're in favor,
Right,
as it was
I can
presented
do
from
it
the
if you're
committee.
in favor of adopting these regulations so that we don't have any misunderstandings when someone comes to the board requesting that a street or a corner or something be named after a person or an individual, you're gonna vote yes. If you think this thing is totally unreasonable, you vote no.
Thank
It's
you,
gonna
everyone.
be
Have
in
a great
reverse.
night. Thank you for being respectful to each of us. And the roll call will go backwards.
Okay, Svetlana,
Lucia.
yes, Svetlana Zelinska.
Wait, yes, to keep it at the 3 years or go to 1 year? I'm lost on that.
So we're gonna keep it to be 3 years.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we're more comfortable with that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat how we vote?
If you're in favor of these guidelines. All right, since you're new on the board, if you wait 2 minutes, I'll explain it to you. but
He's
we-
not new to the board. He's
Not
not.
new to the board.
It's
Okay,
10:30.
I know it's 10:30, okay? We just
Okay,
want to make
yes,
sure.
okay, go, yes.
Thank you. And good
Thank
night.
you.
You can leave, go home,
Unless she wants to hear the
Hey,
vote.
Darren,
She
you're
wants to hear
wasting
the
time
final
now.
vote.
Come on.
All right, Annette Wesley? Annette?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Joanne Weiss?
Yes, and good night.
Gloria Watkins?
Yes, and good night.
Dennis Rodriguez?
Yes.
Edita?
Yes, and good night.
Barbara? Titlebaum?
Yes, and good morning.
Evelyn Strasser?
Yes, have a good night.
Pat Singer?
Yes, and good night.
Michael Silverman?
Yes, good night.
Tatiana Siegel?
Yes, good night.
Jeff Sanoff?
Yes, and good night.
Michael Russo?
Yes, and see you next meeting.
Sam Rankowski?
No, continue.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
no.
Milagros
Costa,
Willis?
Costa.
I just heard Sam.
Yes, good night.
Sam? Maybe not. Nodra P?
Yes, and good night.
Robin Wright Pearson?
Yes, good night.
Pat O'Brien?
Yes, and get some sleep.
Alan Newman,
Yes, and good night all.
Mark Murnick,
Yes, good night.
Yelena Machnin,
Yes, good night.
Angela Kravchenko,
Yes.
Yuri Krasner,
Yes, and good night.
Queenie Hewling,
Yeah, but you look happy to be here.
Queenie,
Yes, good night.
Amaryllis Herrera.
Yes, good night.
Linda Harrison,
Yes, and good night.
Susan Flashenberg,
Yes, and good night.
Lolita Divalova,
Yes, good night.
Julia Denali,
Stanley, like Stanley,
Dan.
right? Yes, and buenas noches.
Asad Dandia,
Yes, good night.
Joe Corrales,
Yes, good night.
Marion Cleaver,
Yes, good night all.
Okay.
Maria Caggiano. Mario,
Yes.
I don't see you on camera.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't see you. There we go. And Lakeisha Bowers,
Yes.
See a hand.
and Lucy Mojica Diaz.
Yes, and everyone, thank you very much. And again, see the new board members in a week or so. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.